one of the most unique atmospheres in pro football. A.J. McCarron leads the St. Louis Battlehawks against Jordan Ta'amu and the DC Defenders. These are two of the 4 betting favorites in the United Football League, and it is week 5 in a 10-week season on a glorious day. 8 teams, 2 from each division to make the playoffs. St. Louis is trying to keep pace with San Antonio, who won yesterday again, and DC, who went to the XFL championship game last year, needs to hang around those 2 at the top. With that, we say hello, and thanks for joining us. Alongside Sam Acho, Mike Monaco with you, Stormy Bonatoni, and Cole Kublik are down on the field. So these are 2 of the heavyweights in the league, and within the XFL division, today's game will go a long way towards separation.
This is a separation game right at the halfway point in the season. DC, if they win this game, all of a sudden it gets muddy. St. Louis, if they win, they will be the #1 team based off a tiebreaker in the XFL conference. So everything is on the line.
We'll bring you all the sounds of this as well. Unparalleled access. So let's do it with the head coaches and go inside the locker rooms.
We got to start fast, and we got to attack. Trenches, it starts with you. O-line, D-line. You got to make a choice before you walk out of this door today, man. Everything happens behind you guys. Be the catalyst for this game. All right, when your moment comes, shine. I can't wait to see who puts their name in the book this week. All right, I love you guys. Play great.
Play fast, play smart, play with a lot of passion. Play with a lot of passion. Tackle the ball, make explosive plays. And if you don't remember anything else, every possession, every possession, every possession. Hey, we got to dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dominate.
Like clockwork from Reggie Barlow. And hey, if you like skill guys, we got skill guys. Defenders wideout Kelvin Harmon. He was a monster last week.
Yeah, I call him Mr. Third Down or Mr. Big Play. Last week, 5 catches, 93 yards, a touchdown, but he did it when his team needed it the most. And oh, by the way, not just on offense, he also did it in the special teams game. Remember, Reggie Barlow was a huge special teamer in the NFL, and so they worked on this, a block punt that changed the trajectory of the game. And so Kelvin Harmon can do it all.
And St. Louis's jitterbug Ja'Cour Pearson out of Ole Miss made his season debut last week after a knee injury in camp.
And after last year, where he led the XFL in receiving yards, led the XFL in receptions, 10 catches, 10 targets, and he was electric. And so this is going to be a huge game for Ja'Cour Pearson. Why? Because Darius Shepard, their key 3rd down receiver, is out.
He is part of the best offense in the UFL. DC will try to stop it with defensive coordinator Greg Williams, who's with Cole.
Coach Williams, A.J. McCarron does a lot at the line of scrimmage, directs a lot of traffic. How much of your game plan goes into just disrupting that portion of his game?
Well, good coaches do a good job with that, and they're doing a good job with making sure you add the quarterback into the call structure and have his checks and all those things about. I learned a long time ago from Buddy Ryan, okay, have all the check systems on defense. Guess what? I've gone way past him, and that will be a chess match going on the pictures we present and the checks that we take, too, on what we see them getting ready to do.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Stormy, over to you.
And that DC defense is going to need to stand tall if they want to upset a St. Louis team that was bet up to a 4-point favorite pre-kick, total 47. Home dogs did not fare well in the UFL yesterday with Arlington and Houston both losing by double digits. Although selfishly, that did make for a good start to my week 5 plays, guys. Let's see if we can carry that action into today, where my favorite play is actually in the prop market. Give me Battlehawks running back Jacob Saylor's over 40.5 rush yards. I was actually surprised to see this number as low as it is, considering he'll be the featured back with Mateo Durant out for the season. Wayne Gallman has had limited reps, and this DC defense ranked bottom 3, in the UFL. So give me Jacob Saylor's today.
I love it, Stormy. And after Saylor's popped for 103 last week, Jordan Ta'amu, Reggie Barlow, and DC at home in a place in 3 years of football at Audi Field they've never lost. Anthony Beck's group, 3-1. They've got the 2nd best championship odds at plus 190, according to ESPN Bet, because they have looked great so far. Kickoffs from the 20, and Paxton Brooks gets it away to Blake Jackson from just inside his 20. Has a seam out to midfield. And the former D3 quarterback with a burst up the sideline. And a stiff arm to the 25, and what a start for the Battlehawks.
Sometimes you wonder how plays are made. This is not their starting kick returner. This is the backup kick returner. But it goes to that front line and the blocking. You see Quinterio Cole with a huge block, number 32. Look at every player on that team, full effort to make this play happen. Field position changes the game.
59 yards on the run back for Blake Jackson. And now A.J. McCarron, the two-time national champion at Alabama. And probably the odds-on favorite right now for Offensive Player of the Year and MVP. Leads the best offense in the UFL. And here's Stormy's pick at running back, Jacob Sailors, for about 4 yards in this offense led by Bruce Gradkowski. Hey, if you haven't watched a UFL game yet, it sounds very different because we've got microphones on the head coaches, the quarterbacks, a defensive standout as well in Quinterio Cole. So you hear the play calls and all the decision-making processes that go into this.
You even heard A.J. McCarron ask Ja'Cour Pearson, Peasy, how'd he play it? That means we're going to go back to that play. Was it man? Was it zone? What did you see? That's a communication that you'll get.
Pearson is slot right. Out of the pistol, it's on the ground again with Sailors, former FCS All-American out of East Tennessee State. As a first down in this offense led by the 9-year quarterback Bruce Gradkowski in the NFL.
10. Gin right tout back action 300 jet soap send gin right tout back.
Hey, gin right tout back action 300 jet soap send on one, right?
So Cole, what we're seeing is something different than what we've seen in the past. Last week, St. Louis started off with a lot of screens. This week, it's the run game. After this play, I'd love to hear why you think they're doing it.
Pearson in motion on first down. And McCarron to the air for the first time with pressure coming. Down he goes and the ball's out. Malik Fisher brought the pressure and DC's got the takeaway.
From Brooklyn, New York, Malik Fisher off the edge. Watch his hands. He leads. All of a sudden, he's chasing, pursuing, and he's chasing the football. Defensive ends, pass rushers. Don't just get a sack. Go take the football. Great job, Malik Fisher.
I'm down. Hey, was I not down?
And Cole, we talked about maybe why they're sticking with the run game rather than the pass game. In film review, Cole, you saw some liabilities in pass protection. What'd you see on that last one?
Specifically the offensive tackle. I thought it was an issue for St. Louis last week. Greg Williams, D coordinator, told me before the game, we're going to attack it. Also, that screen game that you mentioned, Greg Williams said, we think they're doing this for a reason, and they're trying to set something up, so keep your eyes on that this game as well.
So Greg Williams defense with a takeaway to start, and Jordan Ta'amu has nothing through the air to his tight end out of Tennessee, Alex Ellis, the former Vol.
I remember last night, Mike, I saw you and Cole going over film review of this offense. Cole, I'm asking you again, what you see in this offense?
How they switched up the blocking schemes in the same play, the stretch play, inside zone, inserting a tight end, going split zone, and bringing them in the line of scrimmage or going flat. Just a lot of different ways to block the same plays in multiple facets to throw the defense off.
They want to be run heavy, and they keep it on the ground here on second down with the former Miami Hurricane Cam Harris. And that's what Fred Kice, the longtime offensive coordinator, wants to do it on the ground.
Left. Toledo bunch left. Yellow stallion. Yellow stallion.
Here we go. Let's go. Toledo bunch left. Yellow stallion on the double. Ready? Here we go.
So if I'm St. Louis, this is what I want. I want third and long. DC's a team that wants to run the football, force Jordan Ta'amu to beat you with his arms, but also watch him using his legs if things break down.
He's the reigning XFL Offensive Player of the Year last year. Got a look in camp with the Minnesota Vikings. To the air on third down, downfield, and he is picked. Turnovers galore right out of the gates, and it's Brandon Sebastian, the former Boston College Eagle.
Defensive coordinator Donnie Abraham has been begging for turnovers. You see Travis Feeney bring pressure right in the quarterback's lap. He talked about this, pass rush and coverage working together. And so you saw the pass rush in the front, but the coverage by Brandon Sebastian.
Dirty! Let's go! Good job! Yes, sir!
For a defense last week that Anthony Beck said to us was lights out and only gave up 127 yards of total offense. But that's what Donnie Abraham has wanted. 7th play of the game. We've already had 2 turnovers, and A.J. McCarron just lofts it incomplete to the sideline to bring up 2nd down.
Early in the game, we're seeing what? We're seeing pass rush affect both quarterbacks. That was Derek Robertson who had the pressure. We saw a pressure last series by Malik Fisher. This game is going to be determined on the edges of the offensive line.
Have smoke going, right?
And so much goes into the chess match of quarterback that Cole set up with Greg Williams against the DC defensive coordinator, and a guy who wants to be very aggressive traditionally, and a quarterback who can handle all of it mentally. Throws a screen, one of those again for the Battlehawks, and here is the guy they call Peasy. Ja'Cour Pearson, who was out with that knee injury the first 4 weeks.
You heard everyone spoke there. That's a screen call, and the best way to negate pressure is screens.
Dime, 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 dime. Automatic front, LA. Automatic front, LA press. Automatic front,
And we
LA
got south
press.
right, Z short, 2 jet, Z draw, smash 1. Hurry
So
up!
it's 3rd and 3. You hear that press, dime, that could get all our DBs in the game. Press coverage. Expect crossing routes. That's why they're playing up tight.
On 3rd down and 3, clean pocket. McCarron to the sideline and a one-hand bid, but incomplete to Marcel Aitman, and it brings up 4th down.
You see the one-handed catch by Marcel Aitman. In the UFL, you gotta have both feet down. You see him get one down, gotta drag that back foot. Marcel Aitman played with the Bills last year. He has NFL experience, 7th round pick by the Raiders. So he's gotta get that back foot down.
Offense stays on the field. Do you like that on 4th and 3?
I like it, being aggressive.
Here we go. We got 1, trips right, 50 story, watch special on 1.
Cole, what do you think about this call?
55-man protection. So this ball's going to probably have to get out quick, which is something A.J. McCarron has mastered this season.
Empty set. St. Louis 5 of 7 on 4th downs this year. And the pressure is coming. It holds up, and McCarron's got it to Hakeem Butler. The former Iowa State Cyclone takes it into the red zone before he's wrapped up by Michael Joseph after 23.
So Michael Joseph, undrafted free agent for 2018, used to be an outside corner. He's a bigger guy as far as height, but not as far as weight. Where you see Hakeem Butler is 6'6", and so difference in size, but also Hakeem Butler separated from that inside breaking route.
You mentioned earlier no Darius Shepard, who's out this week for St. Louis's offense. Slot wide out and return man. So Hakeem Butler assumes that role on a 3rd or 4th down that Shepard usually populates. Pressure again. McCarron gets rid of it and incomplete in the direction of Butler and Averett.
Cole, I know that wasn't a sack, but pressure-wise, that's what you want to do. There's so many elite receivers on this offense. How do you stop them? How do you slow them down? Do you have the DBs? Yes, there are 2 first-round picks at corner, but how you can do it is bringing pressure. Darius Shepard is not in this game. He's a 2-time FCS national champion. But other guys are stepping up, and so expect DC to bring pressure to try and muddy the picture and force quick throws by McCarron.
Greg Williams, of course, at DC for 7 teams in the NFL. Sailors searching for space, and there's not much there. Right into the arms of Michael Joseph for no gain, and now 3rd down.
5 is 5 wides. All right, here we go. Here we go. Joker! Joker! 10. Joker! The huddle call is Widowmaker.
Here we go.
Okay?
It's 10. It's 10.
Shell Widowmaker. Here we go. Shell Widowmaker. They're going to go no back.
Tighten. Here we go.
Greg Williams, empty set on this 3rd down at 10
180.
for A.J. McCarron. Pressure comes. McCarron toward the end zone for Butler. And a touchdown. St. Louis is on the board first on the road in D.C.
You hear a call like that, and you know Greg Williams, all-out pressure, zero blitz. What does that mean? That means there's no safety in the back end. And so if the ball doesn't come out quick, or if the quarterback's willing to stand in the pocket and take a hit, it could mean problems for the defense. Great job by A.J. McCarron, staying in the pocket, getting it to Butler.
Here we go. And we got Bell right. 51.
A reminder in the UFL,
spacing,
you
Z
don't
wrap,
kick extra points. You can go for 1 from the 2, 2 from the 5, or 3 from the 10. St. Louis 8 of 12 times has chose to go for 2 from the 5, and they are 4 for 8 on those 2-point tries so far this season through 4 games. Empty again for McCarron, throwing left side for 2. It's Marcel Aitman, and it's an 8-zip start for the Battlehawks on the road.
So you heard that he took a huge shot, zero pressure. But look at it, inside route. Swearinger's got to stay inside. Hakeem Butler doesn't care. 6'6" frame, 4th round pick. Make it happen.
Revenge factor for us. He said, I don't amplify it, I don't oversell it, but you maybe think otherwise, Sam?
Well, Anthony Becht is not on the field, and Anthony Becht knows what it's like to be a player who's played a team that you haven't been able to beat. So those players on that field, they feel it, they felt it, they want payback.
Getting their chance against the Defenders, who went 9-1 last year in the XFL. St. Louis went 7-3, but didn't make the playoffs. Here's Chris Rowland out of Tennessee State, and he takes it out past the 40. Let's go down to Stormy.
AJ, after that first drive resulted in a turnover, how important was the response and you guys to get on the board there?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, whether it's a touchdown or 3 points, I mean, you got to walk away with something. Kind of shot ourselves in the foot on the first one, but it's a game of football. So we just bounce back, keep playing, and have fun doing it.
What have you seen from DC's defense that stood out so far?
I mean, Greg's heating us up. They're figuring out ways to just try to put pressure on us when we're in empty. So just got to adjust, play ball.
Thanks, AJ.
Yeah, appreciate it.
A little better. Pressure came. He made the right decision, and it led to the touchdown to Butler. Now Jordan Ta'amu and the Defenders get it back, and this is Zaquandre White, running back out of South Carolina, signed 11 days ago.
It'll be interesting to see how DC responds to this early deficit. They want to be a run-first football team. They want to keep the game close. But if it gets out of hand, it could turn ugly.
To the air, Ta'amu on the out pattern finds Kelvin Harmon, who had that huge week that we showed you. Wrapped up shy of the 50, and now it's 3rd down.
And he's their go-to receiver. He's been that way all season long. Ty Scott had a great week 1, but Kelvin Harmon from Monrovia, Liberia has been that dude.
Let's go. Flex left, close. Lucky. All choice switch. On ready.
Top weapon for Jordan Ta'amu. Reggie Barlow said to us this week when he showed the team highlight plays, it was almost Harmon's highlight tape that he showed him. Over under is 43.5 receiving yards for Harmon. Top 5 in the league in that category. 3rd down and 6. Ta'amu plants, looks, pressure comes. Ta'amu nearly escapes, but he's down. Peter Daumoy-Penu got to him for a sack, and it brings up 4th down.
Kobe Smith and Peter Daumoy-Penu both got through that line. That was a rollout to the left. Great coverage on the left side, really the right side of the defense. But Peter was relentless. Unbelievable effort getting the quarterback down.
Oh, yeah! Let's go! Way to go! Let's go, D-Roll!
And they're happy to have Peter back after he didn't play last week with an ankle injury. And Donnie Abraham said to us, 1 week vacation, now he's got fresh legs.
And that play was supposed to be gone a while ago. Cole, you know it, a rollout like that play's a quick pass, but unfortunately you have to go to your 2nd and 3rd read unavailable.
That's actually one of the things. Oh,
Braxton Brooks has it blocked. Pops up in the air. Keelan Kennedy got a piece of it on the recovery. And Nico Bolden with the block. And another momentum swing for St. Louis.
People say that defense wins championships. I'd argue special teams wins championships. Look at Nico Bolden, signed 5 days ago on the inside pressure. Gets the pump block. They missed it last week. They got it this week.
Ah! Let's go! Yeah! Yeah!
Bunch left tight.
Former Kent State Golden Flash, you said it, just signed this week with injuries in the secondary.
But it's the length that stands out. He's 6 feet 3 inches tall, so he uses his length and has perfect, when I say perfect, technique.
So A.J. McCarron in St. Louis get it from the DC 7. And Wayne Gallman, former Clemson Tiger, probes for a couple of yards. And second down and goal.
Also the former New York Giant, but I don't know if Stormy's liking giving Wayne Gallman the ball right now. She's trying to get Sailors on the over.
Gallman, the former backup to Saquon Barkley, part of his 5 years in the NFL, in a running back room that is shuffled in St. Louis.
H lows, wide slide on 1, right? Here we go. Hurry up, Jake. Jake, over here.
McCarron was directing his tight end, Jake Sutherland, and then has to burn a timeout with the play clock winding down for Anthony Becht and the Battlehawks.
What do you need, Jack? JJ, what do you need?
Rather mellow trip to the sidelines there for AJ.
Here we go. Drop left, wide king. F orbit, H lows, wide slide on 1, right? You're over here.
Cole orbit, a type of motion?
Yes.
Yeah, orbit motion is going to be deep back in the backfield.
Set.
Sailors and Sutherland beside A.J. McCarron.
Hey.
McCarron is looking around. Now motions Pearson. McCarron rolls. Shovel pass and well defended on Sailors. No gain as the defenders were there with Momo Sanogo.
So last week we saw St. Louis try a couple of these shovel passes, and they were effective. The week before we saw them do a shovel pass. Effective. Well, if I'm watching it, if Cole's watching it, Mike, if you're watching it, Greg Williams, the DC, is not only watching it, but preparing his defense for it. Inside the 5-yard line, watch out for the shovel pass.
Greg Kowski, the offensive coordinator for St. Louis, told me they added more reads on plays like that for A.J. McCarron over the last 2 weeks.
Gronkowski wants a quarterback who can handle all of that mentally. Third down, pressure comes. McCarron can't get away from Fisher. His second sack in the red zone, and it's 4th down.
So that's not on the offensive line. Cole, I'll tell you, and you know just as anybody, that's on the QB. There was an inside pressure, and all of a sudden, Cole, what happens when there's an inside pressure?
Got to take the nearest threat.
Got to take the nearest threat, and so the quarterback has to know the outside guy is free. You have to either avoid him with your feet or with the pass. He wasn't able to do it. Malik Fisher says, thank you, give me 2.
Former Villanova Wildcat announcing himself the first 5 weeks of the season. Andre Schmidt comes out from 37, the former Luke Groza Award winner at Syracuse as the nation's best kicker. He's 8 for 10 so far this year. And Andre Schmidt connects to make it 11-0 Battlehawks at Audi Field. And all set up by the Bolden block.
And all set up by making your mark. You just got signed. Coach, put me on the field. Only got 3 plays. One of them is a block. Thank you very much.
You on the clock like. You on the clock like.
Personal, bro. It really ain't even nothing to be said. It ain't nothing to be said. Ain't nobody in this circle to beat these. Hey, it's time to walk their ass. New year, new us. Somebody break it down.
Let's be physical with these boys, man. Playmakers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Playmakers.
Go, go!
Let's go! We want the money!
Quinterio Cole mic'd up, said it's time to whoop. He gets the recovery off the Bolden punt block And it's been a fast start for the Battlehawks.
New year, new me, new team. Quinterio Cole played for Seattle last year, but Seattle didn't beat DC either. And so he's saying, man, a lot of us former Seattle Sea Dragons and current St. Louis Battlehawks want revenge.
So 11-0 is the St. Louis lead on the road as Chris Rowland fields it at the 20 after DC was able to force a field goal. He's out to the 40, down to Cole with Malik Fisher.
Malik Fisher, you've had a couple pressures already today. I'm interested in what you guys saw throughout the week and why you thought you'd be able to get to AJ today.
So we just made a game plan to get some pressure on him. We know they like to throw it. They like to get their receivers going with some screen games and some pass games. So we just felt like as a D-line, we could affect the game by getting pressure on them and getting put in positions by the coaches to make plays, and that's what we there to do. We was in a sudden change just now. We just wanted to stop the momentum and at least give up 3 points instead of a touchdown.
Thanks, Malik. Good stuff.
No problem. Thank you.
Reggie Barlow said to us during the week, opposing teams' offenses are getting the ball out in 2 seconds or less against us, so the pass rush has been itching to make an impact.
And if you're a pass rusher, you know you have to get there even quicker, especially against offenses like these.
Here's Jordan Ta'amu on first down, plants and floats, incomplete, and he got walloped. Tautala Pesafea was in there, second down.
Yeah, Kobe Smith was in there as well, and I saw some big-time acceleration from the 6'2", 312-pound defensive tackle, Kobe Smith.
I'm going to go back to something you said earlier in the broadcast, Acho. Bootlegs, rollouts, quarterback can't be taking hits on those plays. Coach Kais told us Jordan Ta'amu taking way too many hits this year, and he wanted to move the pocket more today. He's doing that, but his quarterback's still taking shots.
Well, why is that happening? You're moving the pocket. Why are you taking hits like that?
You said it earlier. Get the ball out. Got to know the timing.
Ta'amu over the middle for Rowland, and he is picked again. Off the ricochet, Cam Kelly takes off with interception number 2 for the Battlehawks.
I know Anthony Beck said it wasn't personal. I get that. Coach Beck, I hear you. For these players, it is. Cam Kelly was also on a different team last year. Didn't beat DC. But all of a sudden, he's saying, man, put me on this St. Louis Battlehawks team. I'm trying to go win a chip. It looked like he may have been down by contact. Chris Rowland takes a big hit by Quinterio Cole. Doesn't matter. Cam Kelly, get the pick. Donnie Abraham's been talking about it all season long. Turnovers, turnovers. They finally are getting them 2 in this first quarter.
Jordan, no one.
Yeah, you talked with Donnie Abraham this week about getting the interception from Lavert Hill last week off a tip, and Donnie Abraham said, finally. And then you saw the agony on the other side from Fred Kais, the OC for DC. Wayne Gallman on the ground on first down. Storming.
Your defensive coordinator has been preaching takeaways. You guys have 2 now on Jordan Ta'amu. What kind of confidence is flowing through this defense?
It's giving us a lot of confidence. You know, our coaches give us confidence the way that they instill the game plan. They empower us to go out here and just make plays. So we're just trying to do our best.
You're a former high school quarterback. How much are you looking at the pre-snap reads? What'd you see on the play?
I'm always trying to diagnose stuff. You know, with that motion in the single receiver, I was expecting an RPO slant. I was a little late on it, but the tip came right to me. So God is good, man.
Great stuff. Aztecs for life?
Yeah, Aztecs for life.
A couple of San Diego State products there. Gallman on the ground down to third down and to Cole.
Yeah, injury update down for the DC defenders. Chris Rowland, wide receiver, into the injury. As Acho pointed out, took a big shot on that interception.
Yeah, that'll be a huge loss depending on what happens. But going back to what Cam Kelly said, film review, you heard it. Okay, they're motioning. I'm expecting RPO slant. So if you want to be a good football player, what do? You study film, and then you trust what you see. He trusted it, though it was a little late. Still got the pick.
So Brandon Sebastian and Cam Kelly with interceptions. And on third down and 3, it's a screen for Jacob Sailors out of the backfield. Blown up by Michael Joseph. Fourth down.
Michael Joseph is a ball player. He won the Cliff Harris Award, which is the Small College Defensive Player of the Year. He spent 4 years with the Chicago Bears in the NFL after being undrafted in 2018. Sacrifice, moved to inside defender, not outside corner, moved to really the nickel spot because they got so good on the outside. All of a sudden, this DC defense is waking up.
And forcing another Andre Schmidt try, this time from 51 after he made from 37. And Schmidt buries it. with a laser to make it 14-0 St. Louis in the final minute of the first quarter. Think about this start for St. Louis and Anthony Becht. All 4 of their drives have started in DC territory. They have been forced to kick a couple of field goals, but with the takeaways, you gotta love everything you've seen.
Not everything. I love part of it, but if I'm St. Louis, I'm saying, hey, some of these plays with our great field position, they need to be touchdowns. We gotta stop taking sacks. I understand, Andre Schmidt, we're gonna kick field goals, but we don't want this to be a 14-0 game. We want it to be a 21-0 game. And so I think that's the part where you're excited about the field position, but you're not excited that you're not getting in the end zone.
Hey, coming up next here in the United Football League over on Fox, the Michigan Panthers square off against the Memphis Showboats. That's coming at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Yeah, Anthony Becht was saying earlier this season, he said, why am I so stressed when we have a 15-point lead? Because in this league, it is very different than what up by 15 feels like when he was in the NFL for a dozen years.
Yeah, the UFL rules are different. So an 18-point game is really a 2-score game. And if it's in the fourth quarter, you can also get the ball back by going for a 4th and 12. And so that's why you feel some of the pressure as a coach.
Chris Rowland takes it out to the 38-yard line. And once again, coming up over on Fox, how about this matchup? Michigan Panthers, Memphis Showboats, 3 o'clock Eastern time, noon Pacific. We're in week 5 of a 10-week regular season here in the UFL. So that's over in the USFL division where everybody's trying to keep up with Birmingham.
And nobody can. Put it that way. Everybody's trying. No, nobody can. Adrian Martinez ran for over 160 yards at quarterback, threw for over 100 yards. He's been elite. That defense has been elite. Birmingham is essentially the team to beat right now in the NFL.
Stormy, what do we got? We see a notable player prop here for Darius Victor rushing yards.
Yeah, I don't have anything specifically for Victor in that game, but it is it's very interesting to see this Birmingham Stallions team, the way that they have just taken off from where they left off a year ago. They've won 12 straight games. They're scoring at a crazy pace. They have the best defense in the league. It's really hard to bet against this team. We laid the 7.5 with them yesterday, and it came through no problem with Adrian Martinez under center.
Stormy, if they're the favorite, which one of these 2 teams would you bet on if you had an opportunity?
To be honest with you, I think this might be the last time, this past week might be the last time that you're still getting plus money on Birmingham to three-peat as a spring football champion. They are that dominant. So the plus money price, the better option would be St. Louis, but it's hard to bet against Birmingham right now, fellas.
Levert Hill with a breakup on a pass intended for Vincent Smith. So it's 3rd down. And St. Louis is looking the part. Birmingham with the best odds to win the championship. And then St. Louis entering today at plus 190. Have been forced into a couple of field goals by Malik Fisher. 14-0 Battlehawks after the first. Break at the end of the first quarter. The UFL championship odds entering this week. And Stormy, you think maybe the last chance to get Birmingham with a plus before the numbers?
Absolutely, especially when you look at how dominant their win was this past week. That number's going away, fellas. And I will say, as you're looking ahead at Birmingham week to week, monitor their quarterback situation, because when Adrian Martinez is starting games, they're winning and covering big numbers. Matt Corral, it's been a little bit of a different story.
Jordan Ta'amu gets pressured and gets rid of it. Chris Garrett was on him. Cole, I ask you, if it's not Birmingham out of the USFL division, who do you like most in the XFL division?
Boy, I tell you, over in the XFL division, I think it's got to be St. Louis with the way this game's going right now. And you mentioned it earlier, Mike. A.J. McCarron looks like the league MVP. San Antonio playing with a backup quarterback right now. DC just doesn't have the juice at running back or wide receiver they did a season ago. And I think that's the biggest difference in this football team than what we saw last year.
It's almost like this separation Sunday. That's what St. Louis sees this game as. They can separate. If they win this game, they'll be the #1 team. Of course, San Antonio saying we're 4-1 too. Our backup quarterback, but our defense is still one of the best defenses coached by Wade Phillips. And so that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing, man, St. Louis or San Antonio as that next favorite.
For St. Louis, this is Ja'Cour Pearson. You were excited to see him getting a chance to return it. He's out past the 30 to set up St. Louis up by 14. Well, Fred Keiss, the DC offensive coordinator, has had very eventful last few weeks. You go back to April 4th. He lost vision in one of his eyes. Saw a doctor, and the next day got diagnosed with a clogged artery. Following week had surgery. And the very next day was back at practice. 3 days after surgery, he was coaching again in game action, and he is one of the best guys in this league. So awesome to see.
He became an ordained minister to marry some of his former players. So they said, who can marry us, number one. Number two, he said he wanted to send a message to his team about resilience. Yes, I just had surgery. He was at practice the next day. Now, he said he still can't run, but he's so grateful for his surgeons and the doctors who found the issue.
He had lost vision a couple of times in meetings. He told us for about 2 to 5 minutes at a time. And after last year, he actually had cancer surgery on his eye. So he thought it was that again and went to his cancer doctor, Dr. Qureshi in Arlington. And she very quickly identified that it was something else and got him in to see the right folks immediately. After 8 yards to Hakeem Butler, here is Pearson hauling it in at the 40 from McCarron. And St. Louis takes it into plus territory.
This is a nice throw by McCarron, even better route. And so you see that deep over. You see he throws it over the defender, Michael Joseph, who's kind of in that zone defense. And so Pearson continues to keep this route deep, right over the defender. But going back to Fred Kais, he said Dr. Qureshi saved his life.
Yeah, saved his life and knew immediately. And the doctors told him if they hadn't pounced on it that quickly, they said he would have spent the rest of his life in a home. First down, McCarron threw it behind his running back, Sailors. It's just amazing for Fred Kais, who was so grateful, wanted to shout out his doctors, as well as Dr. Grimsley, who put the stint in for that clogged artery. And Fred Kais said to us, it felt like when my first child was born. My whole life was changing, and I knew how blessed I was.
And even said that it was 98% blocked. I mean, you start thinking about issues like that. He said, I would go for my annual physicals. Nobody spotted it. I'm glad he's around today.
Amen. Second down for the Battlehawks. And McCarron sets up the screen. Here is Sailors. Former FCS All-American goes barreling for a first down to the 20. And more screens from the Battlehawks offense.
More screens, but not as many as last week. I think Cole counted 12 screens last week. Many of those were to Jacob Pearson to get him involved. Well, he's involved now. Now you're seeing Sailors get more involved, not in the run game per se, sorry Stormy, but also in the pass game.
7 to the wide receivers, 3 to the running backs, 2 to the tight ends last week. They were a screen machine.
Kublik, I think you need to watch more film. That's the takeaway.
I'll get
Not enough.
But even Cole, to your point, you just heard the word smoke. That's usually a screen as well, at least the option for it.
Well, Wayne Gallman is the running back this time. They give it to him. Gallman's got a lane. Gallman cuts inside the 10 and takes it to the 5. 15 yards and a big old hole for Wayne Gallman.
This offensive line has been the highlight of this offense. Look at it. You see, shout out to Jared Jones-Smith, left tackle. Forces Andre Mintz up the field. If you're a defensive end, anytime there's a draw or play like that, you want to stay on the line of scrimmage. Don't just get straight up field. Otherwise, that hole gets so big, no one can make the tackle on time.
Right guard, Vidal Alexander just hobbled off the field, so Donovan West out of Arizona State replaces him. Gallman up the middle, fighting for yardage into a sea of defenders.
Flag down, flag down.
And there is a flag on the near side.
I got that ball.
I don't think McCarron was ready for that football.
Agreed.
Shift in the offense, all 11, that's set.
They want it. They want that illegal shift, I'm sure. Has some illegal shifts on the offense. They want that. Come on, Chester.
All right. Illegal shift. Offense. All players were not set for 1 second prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Head referee Scott Walker, and you hear him communicating with his fellow officials as well, as we give you unparalleled transparency in officiating.
And even if he misses it, you have Dean Blandino, who's in the U.S. Army Command Center, who's watching all things. Any play that has to do with player safety, line to gain, any review of the play, he's allowed to look at.
So first down and goal from the 10. McCarron under pressure, sidesteps it. McCarron on his feet, directing to the sideline and throws incomplete. Intended for Hakeem Butler with Deontay Anderson, the safety, in coverage.
So Derek Roberson, number 50 for DC, is a little bit frustrated. He won on the outside. And Cole, you're laughing because he won on the outside. I would say that was a holding. Cole, what say you?
Oh, I'm talking about the 3 times after they went to the ground and Jared Jones-Smith just dropping elbows on top of him when he's on the ground.
Hey, but he was giving full effort, man. Roberson almost got him once, almost got him twice.
Big time effort.
Former Tennessee Titan Roberson, who had 2 sacks last week, and now we've got a couple of flags and pre-snap movement that appears to be on St. Louis.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Dean, we will ask you what you saw from the U.S. Army Command Center on that scramble from McCarron.
Yeah, so what we were looking at, obviously, is he beyond the line of scrimmage when he throws the pass? Also looking, was there any potential challengeable aspect of the play? And it did look like the left tackle took the defensive end down. So had they challenged, we would have taken a look at that as well.
Thank you, Dean. That gets announced in the stadium here in D.C. as well. 2nd down, Sailors up the middle, and he plunges inside the 5 for the St. Louis offense. 3rd and goal after 11.
And the point that Dean is making on that challenge, as we look at this replay, great play by Sailors, the point he's making is anything called or not called can be reviewed and it can be challenged by a coach. You have to have a timeout. It's called a super challenge. You have to have a timeout remaining, but you have 1 challenge in the game. So if there was a holding that wasn't called, you can actually go and challenge that holding. Dean will look at it, and it sounds like, Paul would probably disagree, but it sounds like that one would have been a holding.
Of course, the decision is, when do you want to use it? Because you only get 1 even if you're successful. 3rd down and goal. 3-man rush. McCarron flush. McCarron for Aitman, and he just sails it. 4th down.
You can hear and feel and sense the frustration from head coach Anthony Becht. He says, man, we got to go win. That's the 3rd red zone, or at least high red zone trip. Really the 4th, and this is the 3rd field goal.
And you said, not happy with everything if you're Anthony Becht. From 22, and Andre Schmidt stays perfect. 17-0. St. Louis trying to get to 4-1 in the United Football League. The first pitch in St. Louis before the Cardinals game.
You got him, you got Darius Shepard, you got Travis Feeney. And I love how they're getting involved in their community. All the players are based in Arlington, Texas. They travel the day before the game to go play. But AJ and his teammates said, man, let's go throughout the first pitch. They went and visited a children's hospital in St. Louis. The fans love them at over 40,000, a spring league record. They want to get involved in the city.
Yeah, great ambassadors in this newly launched league. Chris Rowland with a burst. Now past the 40 to set up DC. Down 17-0. Total yards are 120 for the Battlehawks to -6 for the defenders and Jordan Ta'amu.
What about the total yards for Jacob Sailors? At least the rushing yards, Stormy. How we feeling? I think he's at 24 rushing yards, 40.5. How we feeling?
We're more than halfway there, and it's the 2nd quarter, guys. We're feeling good right now. Long runway, but we, still ways to go as well. So holding our breath here. But he went over this number by margin each of the last 2 games. I feel like you just got to give him the ball a little bit more.
Let him cook. All right, here's Jordan Ta'amu at the controls for DC. Cam Harris on the ground. Last year he was working at a car dealership before signing up with DC.
Spread left, spread left, spread left. Yin, 22 lock, 22 lock.
What does that lock mean, Cole? Is this what you were talking about on film yesterday with Mike?
It could mean that they're going to lock the backside on the zone scheme.
Walloped, but Ta'amu got it in the direction of Kiki Cutie. but it's a loss of 2, and there is a flag that might be roughing the passer on Travis Feeney.
We're going to go previous spot.
We'll do the lip reading for Scott Walker. It is roughing the passer.
Yep, I'm with you.
They got a high hit.
Yep, head to head. Helmet, yep, contact to the head neck area.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can see he leaves his feet, launch.
Right? He was down behind the line.
It was.
Hits him in the face mask.
Good job, Chief. Good job, guys. Correct.
We'll wind it up whenever you're...
Okay, first down.
One on the box, one on the box.
So you heard it there again, Acho, 22 lock. If it's inside zone, they'll just make the backside guard and tackle stay at home instead of scooping up to the second level if it's a run play.
Costly penalty, and now Cam Harris rumbles forward. So this is an offense whose longest play entering this drive was 4 yards. Now with the penalty and with 3 straight field goals from the Battlehawks, defenders could be right back in this thing.
And it's still a 2-score game. Remember, UFL rules, you can score, but you don't kick an extra point. You can go for 1, go for 2, or go for 3. And so this game could be way different if DC scores.
Former Ole Miss Rebel Jordan Ta'amu. Harris with a cutback lane. And he's got a first down to the 25 before Mike Rose was in on the stop. There is a flag down as well. Down, flag down.
Was that a dead ball foul or you had a...
Line ball, holding number 51. Holding, offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty, second down.
It's on the center, Mike Maietti, former All-American at Missouri.
He's one of the leaders on this offense, and on some of these stretch plays, I heard you say it, Cole. You say, "Oh, you saw the defensive tackle try to get back inside." What should the offensive lineman do?
At that point, you turn him loose. When the defender has the opportunity to disengage and attack the football, you just got to turn him loose. It's tough, though, because it was a great block for about 85% of the play.
Harris tumbles. He tried to cut it back, and then Mike Rose tagged him. Third down.
Why is that so tough? So for me, as a defensive player, I'm saying, man, go, 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 go. But holding, why do you hold? But why is that so tough?
You talk to finish, Otto. You got to finish. Play through the whistle, not to the whistle, through the whistle. I mean, one of the main key cognizance of being a great offensive lineman is finishing. And when you have that block teed up, you have perfect hat placement, perfect hand placement. The back just makes a cut. The defender tries to disengage back off that cut, and you feel like you're winning, and you just want to continue that block. You want to continue that win.
It wiped out a good gain, and now third down. Ta'amu rifles, and he's got his tight end, Alex Ellis, for a first down. Boy, did DC need that.
Great play by Alex Ellis. But what happened on that play was that Willie Harvey actually slipped in coverage. That's all that happened. Mike Rose going that deep middle. Willie Harvey sees it, and he slips on the grass.
They pick up a couple on the ground with Saquandre White for 3.
Reggie Barlow told me before the game they brought Saquandre White up this week because he felt like he brought a little bit more juice, a little more explosive.
No, he absolutely is a lot more explosive. I mean, he's
23 lock. Here we go, here we go.
Tall, long, lanky running back, but he's a big play threat.
Ready.
6'1", 215 out of South Carolina, and we've got flags pre-snap. Looks to be a false start.
False start. Offense, number 13. 5-yard penalty, second down.
On the wideout, Kelvin Harmon.
I mean, isn't that what Frank Keiss told us in our meetings, guys? Shoot ourselves in the foot with minor mistakes at major times.
No. Flex left. Lion, X Sluggo. Lion, X Sluggo.
Yeah, I love that saying. Minor mistakes, but at major times at the wrong time. So hear that Sluggo. Uses it's RPO to be a run, but also slant and go.
Second down to 12. Tamu's got a clean pocket. He floats it. Sideline for Vincent Smith and incomplete with Brandon Sebastian in coverage. And now third down.
So Brandon Sebastian is playing great man-to-man coverage. Eyes are back. He's in phase with the receiver. all of a sudden receiver Smith says, you know what? Obviously miscommunication, but you know what? I'm covered.
Hey, bunch left.
Brandon Sebastian is one of the better defensive backs in the UFL. It's called the XFL last season. Former Boston College great.
25-year-old out of Connecticut.
That glance may have been there.
Domu needs water, Cole needs a towel.
So that glance may have been there because that safety was coming down.
Dome is burning.
No.
Here you go. Toledo bunch left, yellow stallion.
Hey, Cam. Hey, hold on. Chip on this, all right? Chip. Here we go.
Toledo running back
Toledo
Cam Harris
bunch left,
chip.
yellow stallion. Oh, I'm ready.
Correct. So why is
Yellow.
he saying that? It's 3rd and 12, so yellow, usually that's their hard count. But 3rd and 12, you know the pass rush has been going. So they need Cam to give him a little bit more time. So you see Peter Talmopenu at the top of the screen. They want Cam Harris to chip on him.
St. Louis closed as a 4-point favorite, leading by 17 here in D.C. Pressure comes. Ta'amu rolls, tucks and runs. Ta'amu turns it upfield, and he got leveled as he slid by Quinterio Cole, and that'll keep the chains moving. DC's offensive line, and Alex
32 with Crown.
It's not Crown, it's head, neck, ear. It's shoulder to head, not Crown, shoulder to head. It's a foul.
Okay.
He's a sliding
Personal
runner,
foul.
can't go
Unnecessary
to head, neck, ear. You
roughness.
see the shoulder
Defense,
on the
number
floor,
32, illegal use of the helmet against the defenseless player. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, I'm on the near card. It's a good look. He gets him right in the head. So we'll tack that on. Wind the clock here.
You heard illegal use of the helmet. We've got different definitions of similar penalties at different levels of this sport, but here in the UFL, it's if a player lowers his head and makes forcible contact with the crown of the helmet. Would have been 4th and 3. Now it's 1st and goal, and Ta'amu's got to burn a timeout with the play clock winding down. We will sort it all out when we come back. DC's trying to get on the board at home.
Downs after the penalty, down 17 but in scoring position here in the red zone, which leads me to the live line that we have here on the game right now. Remember, DC was a 4-point underdog to start the game. Well, now they're a 14.5-point underdog. If you think they can score here, continue to hold St. Louis to field goals instead of touchdowns, I don't hate that bet right now. They can still lose this game by 14 and cash a ticket.
St. Louis hasn't capitalized, and now DC is in business here with 1st and goal.
And notice the yard line. It wasn't a half the distance. UFL rules say it's a full 15 all the way up to 2 yards.
Cam Harris from inside the 5 got submarined by Sebastian after 2 yards. This is a heavy formation here. Cole, you got the big bodies in there.
Heavy formation and Bulldog are the 2 heavy formations they've got.
9th play, and it's Harris with a dive toward the end zone. No, they will spot him short, and it's 3rd down.
So Bulldog formation, big people. Cam Harris tries to dive, not close. Great job by the front men on St. Louis.
Got up under that one. Bulldog, Tommy Champion and Lamont Galliard both in the lineup.
Galliard is offset in front of Harris. Ta'amu under center. Again, it's Harris with another dive for a touchdown. DC's on the board.
Don't deviate from who you are. Game feels like it's out of hand for DC, but not for Fred Keiss, offensive coordinator. He says, we're a run-first football team. We're a physical football team. Jordan Ta'amu with the big-time run. Then the penalty by Quinterio Cole. and then it's like physical, big, bulldog, let's eat.
Fred Kice told us last week he wanted to send a message running the ball against Birmingham. He told us this week we have to run the ball. He did stick with it, and now they go for 2 from the 5. Ta'amu steps up, and Ta'amu goes down. A swarm of Battlehawks prevent the 2, and it's an 11-point St. Louis lead with 2:11 to go in the first half. Hey, we've got a special Sunday Night Baseball doubleheader for you today. Starts with the Mexico City series. It's back with the Astros and Rockies, and then the Red Sox host the Cubs to close out their series at Fenway Park. Coverage starts at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, with the Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown on ESPN. With Sam Acho, Cole Kublik, and Stormy Bonantoni, I'm Mike Monaco, our entire crew behind the scenes. And also, that is a big stop if you had the first half total of 23.5, preventing the 2. We're right at 23 total here in the first half.
But let's not forget, St. Louis wants to score all the time. And so 2 minutes and 11 seconds left is more than enough time. Though the clock has been running, there will be a 2-minute warning. The clock stops on out-of-bounds plays. All of a sudden, St. Louis says, let's get this lead even more extended.
This is week 5 in the 10-week regular season in the 8-team United Football League. St. Louis is 3-1. That's second place in the XFL division. DC, same division, at 2-2. This is Blake Jackson from the 11. And Jackson with a running room, filling in for Darius Shepard. And he roams out to the 46 before Vincent Smith is in on the tackle. Well, A.J. McCarron with 3 straight field goals and frustrated.
You need a guard! Guard! Team, work! Don't just stand there. I thought she was going to run at that point. No. We're just not getting out in time to be able to change anything. I mean, I'm snapping it like 2-1 every time. Like, I didn't even fucking say anything. I said set like always, and then he just snapped it.
Keep it on the ground with Jacob Sailors to start this drive, and 1.5 yards as we hit the 2-minute warning. So frustration for St. Louis. DC with its first touchdown. The lead is 11 for Anthony Banks.
You told me earlier he was looking over here at you on the sideline.
Yeah, well, on one time he did that because, you know, he saw something coming. That's what he believed. And then the next few times he hasn't looked over here because we've done a couple more checks ahead of time. Okay, we're going to have to make sure we make this stop here at the 2-minute. Guys have been doing a very good job on sudden change, short fields, on making them kick field goals. We've got to do it again.
Thanks, Coach.
The longtime NFL defensive coordinator, also the former Bills head coach from 01 to 03, who last year at one point said, I tell my players all the time, I don't need any more friends. I'll just buy a Labrador if I want another friend.
Yeah, he's an intense and demanding coach. I was at their practice with my 9-year-old son, and let's just say there were some words that were said that I don't want many 9-year-olds to hear.
Some NSFW, perhaps, for the Acho clan. 2nd down and 9. Greg Williams looking for a stop, and McCarron uncorks one downfield for Stevie Mitchell and incomplete. Well defended by Garrett Conley.
Send Farad in for Momo. Farad for Momo. Joker. Here we go. Pay attention now. Here we go. Pay attention. Hey, Jet Games. Jet Games. Kick strong. Jet Games. They call it Jet.
Hurry up!
In the UFL, 8 players on each team can wear headsets, and there's no cutoff point for that communication. Late play clock. McCarron on 3rd down. Checks it down to Sailors. Got bumped out of bounds, short of the sticks. Good job by Farad Gardner, and it's 4th down.
You're that Jet Games from Greg Williams. What he's saying is up front, I want you in jet. essentially 3 on one side, 1 on the other, pass rush, and run pass rush games. That's what we saw
with this BOA, it's 4th and 3 if they go, okay? Make sure you have your BOA lineman.
We got to wait short.
Jawan Bushell Beatty was down on a knee and slow to get up. He's the right tackle and former Michigan Wolverine for an offensive line that already lost right guard Vidal Alexander earlier this half. And Stormy told us during the break, Alexander is out for the rest of the game with a calf injury. And in the UFL, you only get 42 active players on your roster on game days, so it tightens up pretty quickly personnel-wise.
Especially when Alexander's one of your offensive leaders. So you have him out, you have Bushell Beatty out. Cole, what does that do for an offensive line?
Well, first thing is continuity is going to change and be totally different. The communication is going to be a little bit more difficult, but now you're getting to the point where you're playing guys out of position, so your technique and your fundamentals are totally different as well.
Well, on 4th and 3 from the plus 47, Anthony Becht elects to send out Sterling Hofrichter, the former Falcons draft pick, who was punted for them and the Bucs as well. And the Battlehawks punting for the first time in this first half. We will get Anthony Becht taking one of his 2 timeouts. Well, while we have a moment, we wanted to send our best wishes to the family of St. Louis long snapper Alex Matheson. And to Alex, he and his sister, they lost their father Mike on Friday. And Alex elected to play in this game to honor him. And after the game, will go be with his family in Iowa. Matheson from Division III Cal Lutheran, playing with a heavy heart today, but surrounded by his football family. We wanted to join in a chorus of support for him here this afternoon.
I talked to him on the field before the game, and I said I couldn't imagine what he's going through, but he mentioned that that's what football is. It's almost like this safe space before he has to go deal with reality.
Can't imagine how it feels for Alex Matheson here today.
Here we go, let's go.
Well, he comes off the field with the punt unit. So Anthony Becht takes the timeout, sends the offense back out there on 4th and 3.
Snag route coming, Nacho?
Yeah, it looks like it'll be Jafar Pearson, number 1.
Top of your screen. 4-man rush. McCarron looking that way, and it's incomplete, intended for Butler. Santos Ramirez in coverage, and DC gets a turnover on downs.
So this DC defense has a bunch of first-rounders. Garyon Conley on one side, DeAndre Baker at corner on the other side, but Santos Ramirez.
We'll challenge in 2 minutes.
Looks like this play's going to be
challenged.
All challenges come from the booth.
He cannot. No. He cannot. Listen, guys, listen. He cannot challenge because he's out of timeouts.
Yeah, you're out of timeouts as well, Coach. You're out of timeouts. You're out of timeouts.
No. Last 5 minutes of the 4th quarter.
Wow, so wanted to challenge, but you have to have a timeout in order to do so. And you see the red little chiclet under STL. Means he has it, but you can't use it without a timeout. So DC gets it back and goes to work with Zaquandre White trying to get to the edge, but he gets swung down by Travis Feeney.
And you heard the frustration from Anthony Becht. He said, no, but that last 5 minutes of the 4th quarter are when anything can be challenged. So to Dean's point of, no, I'm not going to look at it now if it's not reviewable. You have to have a challenge. Let's inside the last 5 minutes.
Turning clock, 2nd down at 6. Ta'amu rolls out, gets rid of it for Rowland for a first down. Inside the 40, it's 10 yards for the defenders.
And this last minute or so will feel more like a normal football game. The clock won't run. It'll stop on out of bounds. It'll stop on first downs. It'll really feel like a college football game in that regard.
And Jordan Ta'amu and DC coming to life. So with 1:13 to go, it's White on the ground right up the middle. And he picks up 7. Mike Rose on the tackle.
Close, 51 spacing, 51 spacing. Come on, clock's ticking. Tempo.
It's gonna be a yak, right?
We're okay. No.
Pressure comes, quick release. And it's complete to the tight end, Caden Smith, the former Niners draft pick, with 49 seconds to go.
70, 72. H mesh, H mesh.
Hey, Y mesh, Y mesh,
Y mesh, Y mesh, Y mesh, Y mesh, Y mesh.
And they've got it at the 25-yard line.
Yellow. Ready. Take him.
Ta'amu stands in. And now he gets rid of it. And he's got Smith again right near the sticks. And it's a first down.
Here we go. Trips left.
Come here.
Yellow. Stallion.
Toledo.
You got 20 seconds. We're working down.
Take go.
Inside of 20 seconds to go. Quick release. It's Kelvin Harmon. Tries to make a man miss. And a stiff arm. Harmon's got it. Touchdown. A one-man wrecking crew.
Mr. Third Down. Mr. Big Play. Kelvin Harmon is the go-to receiver for this offense. You saw there's a communication between him and Jordan Ta'amu. He could have ran out of bounds. That would have been the safer play. He didn't want to be safe. He wanted to find the end zone. And now all of a sudden, what should have been a bigger lead is now cut in half.
Tight. Zach, 71 all gator. I'm ready. Spray, spray.
DC earlier went for 2. And now this season on all conversions, they're only 2 for 9. That's the worst of any team in the UFL in 5 weeks so far. Going for 2 from the 5, down by 5. And Ta'amu incomplete. Wanted Alex Ellis, but yet again, Brandon Sebastian. Now there is a flag down. Back in the backfield.
All right.
I have a person.
No,
excuse me. I have hands like face number 15.
We can enforce this. We can enforce it. They can take it. You want it on here.
Who is the foul? It's on offense.
Oh, it's on offense.
Yes,
okay, got you. Thank you. What number was it? What number? 58? 58? 58. Okay, got you. Use of hands.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense, number 58. The result of the play, the try is unsuccessful.
So it's decline.
Wait.
Yeah, it's the hand to the face, but it's on the offense, so the penalty would be declined. The try's no good.
So they don't get the 2. They got the penalty as well on their left tackle, Jameer Ross Johnson. But DC has trimmed this to 5.
And they've trimmed it to 5 based off of Kelvin Harmon. He was born in Monrovia, Liberia, moved here at 4 years old. And all of a sudden, he's emerging. He missed football for 4 years based off of injury. And all of a sudden, he got back, and now he's making big-time playmaking plays.
Receiver for the DC Defenders, Kelvin Harmon. A little quick out route. Time's expiring. There's no way you were going out of bounds right there, was there?
Not a chance, man. I'd like to thank God giving us this opportunity to be out here. We've seen off coverage. You know, Chan, we're on the same page all year. Try to make it happen.
How have you been able to grab this momentum back offensively? Kind of stalled a little bit early, but you've been on a roll last couple drives.
Man, it's a 12-round knockout, man. You keep going to that clock at 0-0. That's just the team we are. We keep playing until it's time to go. And we know we got 2 for 1 here. Defense did a phenomenal job stopping them when we needed them. We're just doing our part, complimentary football.
Thanks, Kelvin.
Thank you.
He's like Luka Doncic at the end of a half. Let's go 2 for 1 here and make sure we capitalize on the timing. They're getting the ball out at halftime as Blake Jackson takes it across the 35 with 2 seconds to go here in the first half.
And I think about the football IQ. He says go 2 for 1. He knows that. He's aware. The entire team knows. Let's score here. Why? Because we get the ball. They could have easily, if you're the home team, you decide if you want to take the ball, if you want to be on defense. They wanted defense that could get a 2 for 1. They're executing perfectly.
Well, how about DC? First 4 drives, 2 interceptions, and a blocked punt of theirs. Last 2 drives, a couple of touchdowns. And so A.J. McCarron, we showed you he was frustrated. He knew they could have had more when they were in the red zone. They dropped down with a knee here, and we got a ball game between two of the four favorites in the UFL and specifically in this XFL division.
We're seeing resilience from the DC defenders. They have not lost at home. They're trying to defend their home field. Whereas a little bit of dejection from St. Louis. Why? 4 red zone trips and 3 field goals for an offense as potent as this, just not good enough.
17-12 for St. Louis at the half. Let's go down to Stormy Bonantoni on the field.
Yeah, Mike, we got a ball game now, and somebody who's watching, I believe, his first football game, but is joining us here as part of our partnership with the U.S. Army, Staff Sergeant Jacob Lang. How are you enjoying the action so far?
I'm enjoying it. It's amazing, and you're definitely right. It's my first football game ever, and so I'm super happy I get to be here and experience this in such a unique time with being able to wear the U.S. Army uniform.
You know, in football and sports, we talk so much about the importance of a team. You work with the ultimate team. What can you share about what you do with the U.S. Army and the amazing people that you work with?
I've gotten to be in the U.S. Army for 8 years, and I've worked with so many people from different backgrounds, different jobs, and it's been such an amazing opportunity to be able to coordinate and work towards a common goal throughout the Army.
What inspired you to join up?
I joined because I really didn't know where I wanted to go after high school, and the U.S. Army afforded me so many opportunities in terms of college and just figuring out how to grow up as an adult and be a better leader, and so I've been really grateful for it.
Well, we're so grateful for everything you do. Thank you for your service and sacrifice, and enjoy the rest of this game.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day.
Mike.
Staff Sergeant Lang and Stormy, thank you so much. Here at halftime, we remind you the United Football League season continues next week with Week 6. Saturday, the Birmingham Stallions take on the Memphis Showboats on ABC and ESPN Plus at noon Eastern, and then the Roughnecks square off against the Battlehawks on Fox. Sunday, Fox has a double dip with the Renegades and Panthers at 1 Eastern, followed by the 4-1 Brahmas led by Wade Phillips and these DC Defenders. We've made it this far, and yes, we have not mentioned the beer snake, but fear not. We have had big plays throughout, and Kelvin Harmon, no, he's not going to the sideline. Turn this thing upfield. Oh, it's a ball game at halftime. The DC Defenders. Today's first half stats brought to you by Progressive. Hakeem Butler was involved early, and then Jordan Ta'amu and the Defenders got going, Sam Acho.
And it wasn't necessarily because of the defenders' outstanding defense, but some costly mistakes by St. Louis. Now, you still got a 5-point lead, so how will you start this half? We heard Kelvin Harmon say we're going to have this possession, so a 2-for-1. What will that first possession look like? First 4 minutes of the second half, last 4 minutes of the first, usually are swings in games.
So let's listen in with DC head coach Reggie Barlow at halftime.
Let's go get us a big. Let's go get us a victory. Stay on the same page. Stay together, right? And let's move the ball on offense. Let's go and score now. Let's go and score. Hey, we got to win this game. We got to win this game. We got to win on 3. We got to win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Be smart. All right? Control the game. Offense. We get in the red zone, punch it in. Hey, we got to exhaust ourselves for 2 more quarters. All right? I don't get what the score is. We got to go play 2 of the best quarters we played all season. Let's go. Come on now. Let's go.
Losing this team, man. Let's fucking go. 0-0. Let's go.
You heard it. We're not losing to this team. And Reggie Barlow revving up the troops, down by 5. Anthony Beck on one side, Reggie Barlow on the other. Let's go down to Cole.
Quarterback Jordan Ta'amu of the DC Defenders. What did you like in the first half, and what do you want to maybe try to do a little bit different in the second half?
I just like how we finished in the first half. You know, we started off a little staggered, but as soon as we caught our tempo and made the right reads, made the right throws, and filled in the gaps, everything started clicking. We just got to start fast, so we just got to go out here and start a drive and score.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
Sam, what have you made of Jordan Ta'amu? Because coming into this week, his OC, Fred Keiss, said to us, I think he's playing really well. But he also said there were maybe a few times where he was pressing when they didn't start fast.
And that's not his personality. He's from Oahu, Hawaii. He's a very calm, laid-back individual. Went to the New Mexico Military Institute. That was his only offer. Wanted to go play at Hawaii. They didn't offer him. They told him to walk on. And so he says, man, I'm a calm, cool, collected guy. I haven't been playing like that earlier this season. All of a sudden, he's finding his stride.
And they wanted him to play safety, and so he went to the Military Institute. He said, I shaved my head, I learned discipline, and that laid-back nature at the core of Jordan Ta'amu.
Talking about character, he said that place made him who he is today. He had to make sure his bed was made all the time, head was shaved. I mean, all those little things. I had a coach who said once little things done well make big things happen. Jordan Ta'amu this game is doing the little things really well.
After a slow start, he got in gear and helped DC rip off the last dozen points after they trailed 17-0. He's got Cam Harris beside him to start. And it's Harris left side, and there's nothing doing. It's a loss of a couple. Cam Kelly, who had one of the interceptions, in on the stop.
Yeah, great Cam Kelly, but even better job by Kobe Smith, the defensive lineman, getting about 3 yards of penetration. Cole, what does that feel like on those offensive linemen on a stretch play like that?
It's not good, and that's one thing they did a really good job of last week was hooking that front side to be able to get the outside zone play going.
Ta'amu rolls out and goes incomplete to the sideline. Peter Daumoipenu, the pressure, third down. You mentioned Kobe Smith a couple of times. Defensive tackle, 25-year-old out of South Carolina, for a Battlehawks defense that is without Austin Fallu for a second straight week with an ankle injury. And Anthony Peck said to us this week he does think Fallu will be back next week.
And Kobe Smith has stepped up. He was an undrafted free agent from the Titans in 2020. He went to Tampa Bay, won a Super Bowl with the Bucks that season with Tom Brady. So he knows how to win.
Third down and 12. Ta'amu steps up and takes off. And Ta'amu dives down with a first down. 13 yards with his legs to move the sticks.
This is the one thing that defensive coordinator Donnie Abraham said we have to watch out for. It's Jordan Ta'amu using his legs. See number 7, Peter Daumoipenu rushing upfield. They said we can't do that. Don't rush upfield, otherwise you're going to give Ta'amu an opportunity. He took advantage of the rush lane.
Nice job by DeMarcus Hayes, right tackle, running him past the pocket once he was beat.
And you say nice job, but Peter's... And I'm listening in to some of them talking about the down and distance. Peter's frustrated. He wants to get to the quarterback. Pass rushers want to go. We have to play as a unit.
And it sounds like some confusion on where the spot was. Initial signal was first down, and then Donnie Abraham and Anthony Beck wondering if, in fact, it was short. And Anthony Beck doesn't want the game to stop. Or what will be fourth down and 1. And Reggie Barlow goes from thinking he has a first down to summoning the punt unit.
Punt team and punt.
So this is a reviewable play, right? Down to gain. First down or not first down. It's reviewable. So what happened, Dean Blandino in the U.S. Army Command Center saw that though it was called a first down, his knee was actually short. Nobody has to challenge it. That's reviewable. The coaches say they want to get the right call. Ultimately, that was the right call.
So instead, from the 34, Paxton Brooks, 24-year-old out of Tennessee, comes out to punt and gets one away. Ja'Cour Pearson from the 14. Stretches it wide and nothing doing. Well done by Isaiah Johnson. Dean, what did you see on that scramble from Jordan Ta'amu?
We were looking at the near cart, which was the shot that was closest down the line. Remember, the drive started after a touchback, so we needed to get to the 35. The left knee shin was down and the ball was not at the 35. The official spotted it just short. We were able to confirm that with the angles we had.
Awesome. Thank you, Dean.
Well,
field position difference. Remember, Darius Shepard, the usual returner, usually gets vertical. You saw that time, Ja'Cour was going sideways. No gain.
And so the Battlehawks have had great field position, are backed up to start. McCarron for Butler on an out pattern, trying to shed DJ Swearinger. And forward progress takes him out to the 22-yard line for 7.
So in a situation like this, Cole, I want to go to you. What is the offensive mentality after ending the first half in the way you just did?
I think it's stay aggressive, especially, you move the ball in the first half. You cannot take your foot off the gas in this league with the way that offenses can put up points.
Little flip for Sailors, swarmed. Right into the waiting arms of Davin Bellamy, the former Georgia Bulldog, for a loss. Stormy.
And for how much St. Louis bragged about the offensive line play recently, guys, they're going to be down 2 starting offensive linemen today. Vidal Alexander early, and then Juwan Bushell Beatty did not come out dressed with an ankle injury. So 2 big injuries up front.
Eric Agwood, you saw 77, and then there's 54, Donovan West, 22-year-old from Arizona State. And there is no other available offensive lineman on the active roster here today. 3rd down. Pressure comes. McCarron is swarmed and sacked. He got walloped by Malik Fisher.
He got 1. He got 2. He got 3 sacks from Malik Fisher on the up and under moves. Why does this matter? New offensive linemen, you're not communicating. The strength of this team has been the consistency of their offensive line. And Cole Kublik, you have 2 new offensive linemen in there on pass rush games. It's very little luck.
No, that's not verbal communication. That's physical communication. And a lot of that just understanding how to stay on the same level. You got to pass that game off, and it's tough to do if you haven't repped it together.
3rd sack, you mentioned it. And now Chris Rowland from his 40 off the Hockrichter punt. Rolling up the sideline, and it looked like he stepped out of bounds near midfield. But no, they're going to spot him at the 41, and St. Louis is incensed. DC's got the momentum at home at Audi Field, down by 5. Defenders game here at Audi Field, the Beer Snake. It is voluminous. How about some numbers? Stormy Bonatoni has done all the quick math with that San Diego State education. I mean, look at this. Estimates do not account for the curve.
I thought that was an important detail to add, guys. It also doesn't account for extra beer snakes that at times can pop up in additional sections.
Part of the atmosphere here in D.C., who is on the move. This is Caden Smith, and the tight end plows out of bounds to the 40 on a reception of 7 from Jordan Ta'amu, with the defenders looking to snatch the lead.
Razor.
Feels like momentum may be shifting in DC's favor. Notice that early punt. You think, man, we didn't get our 2 for 1, but defense said, nope, I got something better for you.
Saquandre White up the middle, and he rumbles to the 30. He has given them a burst based on what the coaching staff told Cole pregame. He's got 9.
Yeah, he was the top running back recruit in Florida. Went to Florida State. They moved him to linebacker, and then he transferred to junior college. Was the #1 JUCO running back. Ended up going to South Carolina and continued his career as a running back.
Yeah, ran it well in Shane Beamer's first year in 2021. Here he is again, and a good run fit from the St. Louis defense with Mike Rose, the first to meet him. Well, for St. Louis, we mentioned the O-line injuries, and then you don't like seeing this either. Ja'Cour Pearson, stud wideout in his 2nd game of the season, headed off.
And it's critical because he's really helping replace Darius Shepard, who's also out.
2nd down to Amu, checks it down, incomplete for White. 3rd down, Stormy.
Guys, I did just get word that fortunately it looks like it's just going to be a cramp for Ja'Cour Pearson, and he is expected to return. We know how important he is to this offense. Just his 2nd game back, he really wants to be out there, but just a cramp.
Yeah, but it's not just him, Stormy. To your point, it's also the offensive line. So St. Louis is playing with 2 backup offensive linemen. They're only 2 backup offensive linemen. Why? Because in the UFL, you can have 42 active players. So Abdul Beecham and Teton Saltes, 2 other offensive linemen, are inactive today. They may be up next week.
Now it's 3rd down for DC. 5-man rush to Amu across the middle and dropped. Oh, right near the sticks to Kelvin Harmon, who couldn't haul it in, and it's 4th down.
He had his eyes. Look at his eyes. Look, watch Harmon's eyes. If you can see him, watch his head move. Boom, to the outside. You got to catch the ball first, and look, he wants to, he's close to the sticks, which is the 1st down. He wanted to catch it and try and lean forward. Where's that body? Where's the defender? Catch it first and then lean.
Oh, brings on Matt McCrane from 48. He's been perfect this year and one of the best kickers in the UFL, and it's off the upright. A drop and a doink for DC.
Matt McCrane hadn't missed all season long, and all of a sudden, doink, at a critical time. Still a 5-point game, but that field goal may come back to bite him.
No good. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, O!
We got no offensive line substitutes left. How are we handling that?
I mean, you know, they've been doing this really all year, you know, trying to get the ball out fast on the perimeters, trying to get our pass rush. So we have to get them in 3rd and longs, you know, so we can go get them. But we got the reserve out there, so we got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, Reggie, this is it. So how do you treat the O-lineman now?
Oh, yeah, well, we got a pristine pass rushing game for sure, so we're going to take advantage of the O-line and their down numbers. So just tune in.
There we go. Tune in, fellas.
Why wouldn't you with Reggie Northrup, who is also an MMA fighter known as Black Dragon. Says his team's got a pristine pass rush. Yes, please do, Cole. This is on the ground with Jacob Sailors with running room. First down to the 50.
All right, Mike, Acho and I were talking about this before the game, and Acho, I got it cleared up. I said, Reggie, I thought you were the baddest dude on this defense until I saw 50 up close and personal. Derek Roberson, and Davin Bellamy and Reggie both looked at me and said, oh, no, he's that guy.
Bro, he's that guy. I was at practice. I played defensive end outside linebacker. I was at practice. I was intimidated by Derek Roberson, the former Texas Longhorn, who ended up transferring as well. He is a monster. Transferred to Sam Houston State, undrafted free agent 2019. By the Tennessee Titans. He had 2 sacks on Drew Brees his rookie year. This dude is NFL caliber, hands down.
He had a bull rush 2 weeks ago, put his hands in the chest of a tackle, and literally it was one of those plays, one of those whacking plays that Coach Williams told us about it. Rear end was on the ground before the head was.
That's what they strive for. Second down for A.J. McCarron, using his legs, getting out of bounds, ushered out by Anthony Hines, and here comes 3rd down after 3 yards.
And that's what's interesting. So Roberson is one of their better pass rushers, but he doesn't have 3 sacks today. That's the guy who's coming in right now, Malik Fisher. Davin Bellamy went to Georgia, played in national championships. He's rotating in. The guys we were just talking to are some of their best players. Now they're rotating in on 3rd down, money down.
8 is what A.J. McCarron in St. Louis needs. And we've got, it looks like a challenge flag on the far side of the field.
He wants to challenge if there was
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Coach, what you got?
Hey, what number is he? I can't see his number.
He's saying left guard?
Jeff, what number? I can't see your number. What's your number? I can't see your number.
Oh, it's number 74, Coach. Number 74.
Yeah.
So that's what you're challenging?
Yeah.
All right, the coach is challenging a potential hold on offense number 74. All
right, I'm looking at it. It's part of a double. It's left guard. That's what we're looking at. It's part of a double team, and McCarron is gone. There might be some restriction, but it's well after the quarterback. It's not at the point of attack. I'm going to look at one more shot here from the end zone. Again, he's part of a double team. Okay, it's initially part of a double team. Any restriction takes place well after the quarterback is gone. It's not, has no impact on the play, so the challenge is unsuccessful.
The challenge is unsuccessful. It had no impact on the play, and it was a part of a double team block.
Correct.
Okay.
So timeout and no more challenges for DC.
Gotcha. Coach, there's no more challenges for you after this too, okay?
It didn't have an impact on the play because it was holding.
Everybody record the
There is no foul for holding on the offense. DC has been charged a timeout and cannot have a coach's challenge for the rest of the game.
Wow, so that's massive. I mean, it was 3rd down and 8. First question, do you need to challenge that?
Well, my instinct is no, but I heard Reggie Barlow just say he didn't have an impact on the play because he was being held. Dean Blandino, what say you about Reggie Barlow's response? Dean, what do you think about what Reggie Barlow said about him being held, even though it didn't have an impact on the play?
Say that again?
So Reggie Barlow said he didn't have an impact on the play because he was being held. How do you respond to that?
So what we're looking at, is there a restriction, but also if that's on the backside of the play, or if it doesn't have an impact, it doesn't spring the runner, that's what we're looking for. So in that instance, there might have been a grab late. It was part of a double team, but it had no impact on the play. So it's not just was he grabbed, did it impact the play? We just didn't feel it did. We wouldn't want our officials to call that on the field, so we're not going to add it in replay.
Dean, thank you. And then on third down, Stevie Mitchell went with a diving bid for a catch, but it was ruled incomplete as A.J. McCarron looked downfield for Mitchell.
Hard to see on this angle, but that looked like an outstanding catch by Mitchell.
Hey, can we get a pump? The penalty. We're going to take the penalty. Oh, we pumped it. We pumped it. We pumped it. We're good.
So a lot to sort out. And then Anthony Becht, who does have his challenge left, doesn't want to use it there, doesn't need to. And he will just let Sterling Hofrichter punt this away on fourth down from midfield. So you think about it, Reggie Barlow uses his challenge, can't do it, and also lost the timeout, and they got the stop anyway. There's a flag down on Chris Rowland's return, breaks a tackle up the center of the field, and Rowland carries the pile toward the 45.
I had during the kick 30-32 with a hold. Okay, so you think we're good picking that up?
He was going down on his own.
Okay, there is no foul for offensive holding. Spot, somebody hold the spot. No, I had a hold on 32 during the kick, had a hold on 32 on the return team. Yeah, receiving team, number 32. We picking it up or not? Oh, Q had something else.
Holding, receiving team, number 32. 10-yard penalty from the end of kick, first down.
It's on the DB Isaiah Johnson, so it backs up a very good Chris Rowland return. Let's go back to the third down throw from A.J. McCarron to Stevie Mitchell, a returning Battlehawk, just back in there this week.
It looks like, to me, it looks like a catch, but it was called that it wasn't a catch.
I thought so too in real time, that it appeared to be a catch from Stevie Mitchell. And really hard to tell on the replay, but again, ruled incomplete, which factors into it, the call on the field.
Dean Blandino, what are you looking at on this call?
Yeah, we're looking to see if he has firm control before the ball touches the ground. And we had a really good look where the ball hits the ground first. Then he's going to use the ground to basically control it. So we were able to confirm that it was an incomplete pass. Coach Beck didn't use his challenge, but we really want to take that on in the command center. We had some good looks to show that it was incomplete.
All right, great stuff from Dean Blandino in the U.S. Army Command Center. And so Anthony Becht, with them looking at it and confirming it, does not need to use his challenge. And again, if you're new to the UFL, each team and coach gets one super challenge, a penalty that is called, a penalty that is not called, and can use that as long as they have a timeout at any point throughout the game.
And also, if you're new to the NFL, penalties like the one we just saw are fully enforced all the way up to the 2-yard line. And so instead of a half the distance to the goal penalty, no, the full holding penalty is enforced. That's why the ball is at the 2.
And then Reggie Barlow in D.C. needed to use a timeout on the change of possession because the play clock was winding down. Clock management, a lot going on here. And so Ta'amu backed up, just goes right up the middle for a yard. On the other side, Donnie Abraham, the defensive coordinator for St. Louis. And it has been a special couple of days for the 9-year NFL veteran with the Bucks and the Jets and the former Pro Bowler, whose son Micah got drafted by the Colts out of Marshall yesterday.
Yeah, he was pick number 201.
We ready. We ready. We ready. Let's go.
Congratulations. Second down, Ta'amu to the sideline, and he's got it complete to Kelvin Harmon to bring up third down and short.
I get excited about opportunities like that for Donnie Abraham because You spend so much of your time as a coach away from your kids. But think about what he was instilling in his son, Micah, to not only be able to play at a high level, but to go and get drafted in the NFL. You saw him, he was at the team hotel. They had just came for this game, yet he's celebrating with his son. And so you can see the father-son connection with Micah. Congratulations to you. Pick 201 to the Colts, but also Donnie and your family. Congratulations.
And NFL dreams continue here in the UFL. Third down, Cam Harris went lunging forward, and the ball came out to Travis Feeney. It looks like they marked him down first, and very close for Cam Harris.
Yeah, it looks like he was a little bit short. Usually we have this true line technology that'll show how short he is, up to 30 inches short, or 6 inches past the line of scrimmage. And so you see the St. Louis defense stepping up, but it looks like it's just a bit short.
And so Reggie Barlow, who has been one of the most punt-prone coaches on fourth downs, certainly backed up here deep in his own territory, will get it away, getting late in this third quarter inside of 4 minutes to go, and DC trailing 17-12. Play clock come down for Paxton Brooks. Stevie Mitchell has got some speed. Takes it from the 45 off the hop. The former USC Trojan gets to the edge. Mitchell ducks out of bounds inside the 30 to set up St. Louis. Let's take a look at today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive.
Dirty! 180! White side! Go! Hey! Yeah! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go! No good. Let's go! Let's go!
The team second and third in the XFL Conference in the United Football League, duking it out late third quarter. A.J. McCarron through the slant, and it got batted away by Michael Joseph.
So Michael Joseph, great inside leverage, doesn't let Hakeem Butler go through and ball hits the ground. But notice, he had 4 picks last year, all XFL last year at outside corner. But now you have a matchup opportunity against a big-time receiver.
Numbers look eerily similar to this point. Sailors lost his footing after just a couple. So he dives down at the 27, and it brings up third down for St. Louis.
See DC rotating in some of their pass rushers that we talked about. Cole, I know on a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9, is there any different mentality from a pass protection perspective when different guys come in?
I think it depends on who it is. If it's a speed rusher, you're going to set for a little more depth. You think you're going to beat inside, you'll short set it a little bit. It all depends on who that individual is.
On third down, McCarron to the sideline for Marcel Aitman, who gets wrapped up right away by DeAndre Baker, the former Jim Thorpe Award winner. It's fourth down and decision time for Anthony Becht.
The former first-round pick in 2019 by the Giants makes a big-time play on Marcel Aitman, the other former NFL receiver. But we're going to the same theme, red zone opportunities that aren't turning into touchdowns.
Andre Schmidt had to kick 3 times earlier, and this from 39 is good to make it an 8-point lead for St. Louis with $1:20 to go in the third here in DC. We got a special Sunday Night Baseball doubleheader for you today. The Mexico City series with the Astros and Rockies Then the Red Sox and Cubs finishing up their series after the Red Sox won 17-0 yesterday at Fenway Park. Coverage starts at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific with the Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown on ESPN. This atmosphere doesn't disappoint. In Buzzard Point here in D.C., stadium that seats 20,000 and opened in the summer of 2018. And last year, the Defenders had 3 sellouts of this place.
For me, Mike, this is my first time being at this stadium. And the atmosphere, you can understand why they are undefeated at home. The Defenders are. The fans show up and they show out. Now, on the other hand, St. Louis doesn't really care. They're saying, okay, we haven't really played our style of football and we're still up by 8. The defense has to have a huge stop on this series to get that momentum shifted back in their favor.
And you see why it matters. Wade Phillips' San Antonio team got to 4-1 in the XFL conference yesterday, and the top 2 in each conference make the 4-team playoffs here in the United Football League. This is week 5 of a 10-week regular season. The swords of the Battlehawks against the shields of the Defenders. Low kick. Bounces near the sideline and stays in bounds for Chris Rowland, who gets popped just past the 30. And a flag flies for a late hit. Flag's down.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds on number 15. 1-5.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Kicking team number 15. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You see Jacob Sailors, it almost looked like he got pushed in the back into that hit. You see, that's what he felt like, but unfortunately you're out of bounds. It's going to be called.
When you're running upfield like that, it's all based on when the runner makes a move toward the sideline. If you're still just running straight upfield, you don't have the protection along the sideline. So 20-12 is the St. Louis lead. DC was down by as many as 17. Ripped off 12 straight, headed to halftime. And Jordan Ta'amu, the former Ole Miss Rebel, comes back out in the final 90 seconds of the third. Against the 4-man rush, Ta'amu takes off and gets tripped up by Travis Feeney.
Cole, on a situation like this, what's the mentality when it comes to an offense? When you're down by 8, you're a run-first offense, but sooner or later, you know you got to get some points.
Yeah, but I think with the point system in this league, Acho, you're not going to press just yet. You want to stay within your scheme, stay within your system. I know Coach Kai still wants to get that run game going. It's been mainly Jordan Ta'amu with his legs,
which we have seen earlier this season as well. And here he is on second down. Flag down. Ta'amu takes off with his legs again and reaches out to the 49, setting up third and manageable.
If they want it, ask them if they want it. They want to back them up?
Come up.
Back them up.
What's the number?
89.
Got you. Thank you.
Holding. Offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty, second down.
On the tight end, Caden Smith, who was a John Mackey Award finalist in 2018 at Stanford.
Yeah, you see them bringing the pressure. Great job by Willie Harvey. We call that a rip move, dip and rip. Rip your arms through the offensive guy trying to block you and then get through there. They'll have to hold you if you're strong enough. So Willie Harvey out of Iowa State dips around the edge and rips, forces the holding call. Great play.
He's one of the captains on Donnie Abraham's defense. So now it's second down and 16. White motions back beside Ta'amu. They set up the screen. Zaquandre White, man-to-man miss, cut it back, and he is maybe good for a yard. Third down and long. So that's how we close down the third quarter here in D.C. at Audi Fields. Anthony Becht and Reggie Barlow locking horns. It's been back and forth. Some of the heavyweights in the UFL. We go to the fourth quarter after this. The UFL presented by the U.S. Army.
Reggie Barlow, DC Defenders head coach. Jordan Ta'amu has been the majority of your ground game today. Do you want to see that just continue to the fourth quarter, or do you try to get it going another way?
Well, if it's going to help us win, right, we trust him with the ball in his hand. So if if it's going to allow us to win the game, then yeah, we'll let him run it.
Thanks, Coach.
Head coach Reggie Barlow, second season leading this group. Previous 6 years as a Division II head coach at Virginia State University. Also been a head coach at Alabama State. It is a big third down at 15 for his defenders as we start the fourth. And the ball swatted out. It's loose and picked up by the Battlehawks. Willie Harvey the takeaway. And St. Louis with another one. Forced out by Pita Daumoipetu.
When there's someone around the quarterback, you don't have to guess who it is. Pita Daumoipetu dips around the edge, uses his speed. He was drafted by the 49ers in the 6th round. All of a sudden, he dips, he leads, fumble.
I was going to go. 51 ran out in the middle.
Yes, we're good. Turnover clear. He hits it. Yeah, he hits the ball. The hand comes forward without it.
So they deem it a clear turnover and strip sack fumble. Ta'amu's been picked twice and is now fumbled. Ja'Cour Pearson back into the game after those cramping issues and on a screen. He gets pushed out by Anthula Kelly after the fumble.
Ready. Take go.
Another turnover forced by the St. Louis defense. Second down and 3, and Jacob Sailors springs toward the edge, and Sailors has a first down. As a defensive player, what is the proper technique when you see a live ball on the ground like that?
Well, it depends. So if there's no one around you, you want to try and scoop and score. I always want to try and create points. Now, if there's a pile, if there's a crowd, you want to dive on the ball, but not flat on top of the ball, otherwise it could squirt out. You want to go to the side of the ball. And so, great job by Willie Harvey noticing there was a little bit of space. He scoops it, but then turns to the side to protect the football.
Setting up A.J. McCarron, Jacob Sailors, and the Battlehawks offense. Over-under rushing yards for Sailors was 40.5. He's got 40. This is on the ground, and Stormy Bonantoni rejoices.
You love to see it, gentlemen, because there was a time when Jacob Sailors was cramping a little bit on the sideline, and I was getting nervous there for a moment. But he's the only player that's really been in striking distance of getting to his prop tonight. All 6 that went up at ESPN Bet were largely toward the under, and I think a big part of that is the defense is doing their job, and St. Louis continuing to get good field position. A.J. McCarron's prop was 242.5, and he's only got over just barely over 100 right now.
Sailors are running back. Stormy was on the Falcons practice squad this year. Got waived in January. Second down, McCarron on a crosser for Hakeem Butler with a stiff arm upfield, and he is marked out of bounds at the 7. Thought he had it, but he is marked out.
Hakeem Butler is so hard to guard, not just because of his size, because of his catching ability. He was a 4th-round pick by the Cardinals in 2019. He broke his hand his rookie year, was out the entire season. Next year is COVID. They also traded for DeAndre Hopkins, so he didn't get his opportunity. They talked about him having catching issues. With a broken hand, it's hard to catch. Now he's getting better.
Makes sense. 16 for Butler, who's got 68 yards through the air. And now Wayne Gallman, the former New York Giant, up the middle toward the goal line. Gallman pushing the pile. And marked just short. Inside the 1.
Offensive line just trying to move and move, but bigger play by Wayne Gallman. Remember, NFL, played for the Giants. He's just running his feet and churning and churning and churning. Gets it all the way down to the 1-inch line.
Hey, train right. 12 power plus, X fade on 1. 12 power plus. Hurry up.
St. Louis closed as a 4-point favorite. Started the fourth favored by 8.5. Trying to cash in the red zone with Gallman for a touchdown. They finally break through with 6 again in the red zone. And now left guard Steven Gonzalez is down for a St. Louis offensive line that has already lost the entire right side of its line earlier. We'll step aside and we'll check on the former Nittany Lion of Penn State when we come back to our nation's capital. State blocking for Miles Sanders and Saquon Barkley in watch 74.
Yeah, and look, I'm not sure what happened. It may have been that knee with Malik Fisher, that knee to knee. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but that's a big time injury for this offense.
And so we told you right guard Vidal Alexander earlier in the game was ruled out with a calf injury, but he has come back in. Eric Magwood is filling in as well because Jawan Bushell-Beatty, the former Michigan Wolverine, got hurt. So they go for 2 from the 5, leading by 14 early fourth quarter. And A.J. McCarron goes down. Sacked by T.J. Barnes, the 355-pounder, who before last season weighed 420 and keeps on playing football.
Yeah, and you saw in Cole, there was no anchor right there by 78. He limped back on the field, trying to find a way. But Alexander trying to find a way to step up for his team, but he couldn't anchor.
Well, not only that, but you've been on the bench for what, 2 quarters? And then all of a sudden you come right back in. They put you on 360-pound T.J. Barnes. He gives you a little bit of a power rush. I mean, that's difficult to stop in and of itself. And then you're trying to come back in and you're a little bit dinged up. I've been through situations like this when I was at Auburn. We went through 6 centers in one season and a couple other guys dinged up. I mean, there are occasions when you just say, you got to get in there and just get in front of somebody. You fall down, you do what you got to do. You cut them, or if there's certain things that you're physically incapable of, stay away from that. But that's a tough situation for Alexander to come in on.
Yeah, especially get in front of somebody who's 350 pounds. Like that's like a couple somebodies.
Yeah, it's like 3 of me. You see it as a defensive lineman, a hobbled offensive lineman. You think, what is a pass rush?
Oh, I think hunt. I think go eat. This is my opportunity. I don't care what's going on in the offense. If you're compromised in any way, I'm going after you.
Battlehawks, by the way, are now minus 3,500 after the Gallman touchdown. And this kickoff goes out of bounds from Sterling Hoffrichter.
Out of bounds. Kicking team. By roll, the ball will be placed at the 50-yard line. First down.
So great field position, and we remind you that the UFL season continues with the Week 6 schedule. Saturday, the Stallions take on the Showboats on ABC and ESPN Plus at noon Eastern. Then the Roughnecks and Battlehawks on Fox. Sunday, Fox with the doubleheader. Renegades and Panthers at 1 Eastern. And then the Brahmas and the Defenders, who, after ceding the first 17 points to St. Louis, DC ripped off the next dozen. And now St. Louis has the last 9 here on a sunny, hot day in Washington, D.C. You got 11:41 to work with if you're Jordan Ta'amu, but your backs are up against the wall. Ta'amu gets rid of it quickly to Kelvin Harmon, his top wideout, for a first down. Stormy.
Coach Beck, your offense was able to get in the end zone there, but then we see McCarron on the ground again with your offensive linemen dropping like flies. How do you handle the situation?
We got to gut it out. You know, we're down right now, a bunch of linemen. We don't know about our last lineman. We got to slide a tight end. Let's go. Like, we got guys big enough to hold the fort down, but we got to come up with a plan. Defense needs to help us out here. They've been doing a hell of a job for us, keeping this really down to a really good shutout here in the second half. So, again, we just got to keep pouring it on. We'll adjust. We'll see what we got. We're not quite there yet, but we may be close, so we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
12-year NFL tight end. 14-point lead, but DC on the move with a first down to Kiki Cutie. And now Cam Harris, the former Miami Hurricane, up the middle, and he picks up 5.
That's a second kickoff that was either out of bounds or near out of bounds, which gives the ball at the 50-yard line. Field position will swing games in opportunities like this. And so a score here, you're already a 2-score game. It could be crucial.
Second down at 5, and Harris goes forward, takes it to the 20, just short. So it's 3rd down and 1 coming up.
And DC's been down before. Remember, they were down a couple weeks ago and scored late against Arlington. 2 late scores. Remember, they scored and they went for the 4th and 12 and they won that game. And so they're used to being down in the 4th quarter and finding a way to win.
Yeah, it's that onside kick alternative that's been a lot of fun. Zaquandre White left side, and he doesn't get there. 4th down coming up for DC. What do you do?
I think you go for it. I think you go for it. A field goal doesn't help you too much here. So you go for it. You're a physical offense. You trust your offensive line.
Well, Bulldog will be that formation with 2 extra offensive linemen in it as well. Tommy Champion and Lamont Gallagher will come in.
A couple of SEC offensive linemen come in as extras. First 4th down attempt for DC today. And it's White up the middle, pushing forward, close to the line to gain. And I don't know if he got there. It's a turnover on downs and a stop by the St. Louis defense.
Big time stop by St. Louis. Why does it matter? Because you want to be physical. They're going to out-physical you. Say, no, we will out-physical you.
And the right tackle for the defenders, DeMarcus Hayes, former Georgia Bulldog, slow to get up. The Battlehawks, their depth being tested. Their defense rises up. Right tackle has been a revolving door this year already for DC. And DeMarcus Hayes, who played at Georgia, unfortunately carted off here in the 4th quarter for the defenders.
They lost their starting right tackle week 1 based off some inappropriate actions in the game. They released him, and now you're working on a backup right tackle.
It's been a quiet second half offensively for DC in this matchup of 2 of the 4 betting favorites in the 8-team UFL. We've got 9:12 to go. St. Louis at 3-1 has the football in the hands of A.J. McCarron. Down the sideline for Butler to high point it and break free. Hakeem Butler looking back at 80 yards to the house.
When you have a receiver of the caliber of Hakeem Butler, you may not need an offensive line. This dude is an animal. 8 receiving touchdowns last year in the XFL, led the entire XFL. This year, he's picking up where he left off. Perfectly placed ball by A.J. McCarron, but Hakeem Butler is stepping up with the absence of his other receivers like Darius Shepard.
You wonder what A.J. McCarron did tell him with a shorthanded team in terms of receivers and offensive linemen. Though Steven Gonzalez did come back in for that snap. And how about the day for Hakeem Butler? 6 for 148 and a couple of tuts.
Illegal substitution, offense, 12 players in formation, 5-yard penalty, replay the try.
It's been a heck of a journey for Hakeem Butler, a guy who didn't make it in the CFL. He was on a practice roster out in Edmonton, Canada. And he says, truthfully, I almost gave up on myself. He said 2 different times in Canada, the coaches didn't give me a chance because I was American. And you talked about his talent. He has seen all levels of football, and he is having a massive performance today.
He broke the Iowa State record for single-season receiving yards with over 1,300 yards. So he's got talent. When I talked to him, it was about the confidence.
2-point try backed up to the 10, and that is incomplete in the direction of Marcel Aitman. So the lead holds at 20 with 9 minutes to go. Let's go down to Stormy.
Hakeem, A.J. McCarron said, I told you after that play. What did he tell you?
I don't know. He must tell somebody else about the coverage, but he made a good ball. He threw a good ball. I just made a play on it. I did the easy part.
You have 40-plus friends and family in the stands today.
That's the only answer. He's him. Yeah. He's him. That's the only answer. Yeah.
What does it mean to make that kind of play in front of the people that mean the most to you?
Oh, it means a lot because I only get to play up in this area once a year. So for them to be able to watch me it means a lot, you know. Nephews and my sister up there. I love him. Brother at home watching, so I love him. But this one is for Alex's dad. He lost his dad. He came out here, played, long snap. I love him like a brother. Been with him last year through this year, so this whole game is for him and his dad. We really appreciate him. Thank you.
Love that. Thank you, Hakeem.
Baltimore native Hakeem Butler deflecting the attention to his long snapper Alex Matheson, who unfortunately lost his father on Friday.
Hey, you talk about Baltimore native. He actually moved to Texas at 16, lost his mom to breast cancer, moved in with the Harrison twins, the basketball players at Kentucky, Andrew and Aaron. And that's where life really took a turn for Hakeem.
Well, here is Chris Rowland on the return. Tumbles at the 36. St. Louis top scoring offense in the UFL coming into week 5, and Anthony Beck's group has done nothing to change that with 32 points, and they have cashed in off turnovers as well.
And turnovers that they haven't been able to get all season long. Last week we saw that Lavert Hill pick, Donnie Abraham's sigh of relief. Well, now all of a sudden, couple picks, couple fumbles. Turnovers come in bunches. Once you get one, you start believing you can get more.
72.
And that play by Butler, by the way, the longest play in the UFL this season. DC in the second half has gone punt, doink, punt, lost fumble, turnover on downs, and now Ta'amu incomplete across the middle with inside of 9 minutes to go, down 20.
And the clock still runs. Once that ball gets spotted after incomplete, the clock will still run. And so this game, it's fourth quarter, but that clock is moving. You got to start speeding it up now.
Here we go. Lines, yep. Here we go. Good second set. Ready. Set, go.
Play fake on second down. Ta'amu unloads and he's picked. Mike Rose takes off. Down the sideline to the 10. St. Louis's third interception today.
The heartbeat of this defense. The leader of this defense. Mike Rose was injured early, but watch him right there in the middle of the screen. Playing zone, reading the quarterback's eyes. The key here, getting depth. He's backing up. He's reading the QB's eyes. Ball's right to him. Mike Rose, Iowa State Cyclone. Big time play.
And you saw a look of anguish from Rose at the end of the run back, as if to say, oh, I was so close. And remember, Donnie Abraham, as DC said to us, it's been 2 years. We haven't scored a defensive touchdown yet.
I know you hear me, man. That's not what we do now. Okay, we don't taunt like that. We don't do that.
Want these guys to keep it classy. Jacob Sailors up the middle, getting a push, touchdown. It's a St. Louis onslaught in DC. And the over hits as well, thanks to Jacob Sailors.
Yeah! That's a big time play by Jacob Sailors, also a big time play by Mike Rose. But once we get through this play, I want to go back to something that I heard from one of their coaches that stands out to me.
They'll go for 1 from the 2. Of 38-12, midway through the 4th. McCarron pulls it, throws it. Butler on the fade for the extra point. Hakeem Butler has been huge. Set up by Mike Rose, Stormy.
Mike Rose just said, oh, we scored. I didn't even realize. Are you still just kicking yourself that you didn't get in the end zone?
Yeah, like I was telling my teammates, I've never been more disappointed in myself after an interception. Should have put it in, but hey, the play came right to me and I just made it, so.
Big players make big plays in big moments. Were you reading the quarterback's eyes, or what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a low 3 threat, so yeah, I'm really saw the QB's eyes at that point, and I thought he saw me, but I guess not.
DC has never lost in this home building over the last 3 years, and I know you guys wanted this one after the series a season ago. How good is this positive energy feeling?
It's good. It's just another stepping stone.
Back in the league.
He's really that, but we'll go with that. But honestly, it's just another stepping stone for us. We got big goals, but winning here is obviously something we wanted to do. We didn't get a shot at them, or we weren't able to do it last year. So hopefully we can close this out, and it'll be a good thing for us.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Willie Harvey said Mike Rose is the best linebacker in the league. Sam, you wanted to go back to what you saw on that whole sequence. What'd you see?
Well, I saw a big-time play by the defense for sure. As we see a nice
rolling return out to midfield.
But one thing I've noticed about Donnie Abraham is that he's even keeled. He's not too high and not too low. And so you would think, man, multiple interception performance, multiple turnover performance, we're going to celebrate. But no, he's actually coaching, teaching. There were some players on the sideline that were taunting. He said, man, we don't do that. That's not who we are. And you wonder why his son would get drafted in the NFL. It's little things like that. Hey, we're going to compose ourselves in an elite level fashion, whether we're up by 20, down by 20. So that's one thing I've heard from him even earlier in the season. He wants all these guys to go to the next level. There's a certain way of professionalism if you want to get there.
You said it's little things earlier that add up to the big things. The way you carry yourself in moments like that go a long way.
And he also said effort and production. That's what he said NFL coaches and scouts look for. They want the effort. They also want the production. That's why he's been so hard on the guys of getting more turnovers, getting around the ball, tackles for loss. Because if you want to go to the next level, you need to put something like this on tape.
Well, it has added up because of his defense to a huge lead, and now DeAndre Francois, former Florida State Seminole, who was a top 50 recruit in the country and one of the top quarterbacks in his recruiting class along with Kyler Murray, went to Florida State, had a 10-win season, won the Orange Bowl over Michigan, and he takes over here midway through the fourth. Zaquandre White second time he gets stood up. 45 by Lakeem Williams. Some jawing after the fact on both sides with the margin at 27.
You've seen Francois come over to the sideline here. Fred Keiss told me before the game that one of their microphones was down. So most likely Francois, the backup quarterback, didn't have one, having to come over to the receiver to be able to say what the play is as they're sending it in.
With Jordan Ta'amu looking on, and again, each side of the ball you get 8 headsets that you can use on your entire team and divvy them up, offense or defense, however you want. White goes up the middle and it's short, 4th down goal.
Keiss told me they go 5 and 3. Yep. So 5 on offense, and he has one center quarterback and an outside wide receiver, and then of course you have 2 reserves there that you would have them on.
So Francois getting everything aligned and relayed, and St. Louis looking to improve to 4-1 overall and trying to keep pace with San Antonio at the top of the XFL conference. Top 2 in each conference go to the 14 playoff. On 4th down, it is White, stood up by Kobe Smith. The exclamation point on a stout defensive effort for Donnie Abraham and the Battlehawks.
And back-to-back stout defensive efforts by the Battlehawks. Kobe Smith, you got to give a shout out to him. Great hand placement. What stands out to me about Kobe Smith is his burst. Yes, great against the run, but to be that big and to have that kind of burst, that's what sticks out. He signed with the Giants as soon as the XFL season ended last year. He's trying to get back there this year.
He's with him in fall camp as well, and has been on the Falcons practice squad, the Bucks too. He has played some very good football on the D-line for St. Louis. Battlehawks saying something to the tune of, yeah, keep running it. With 6 to go, Wayne Gallman for a couple of yards. Yeah, this defense for St. Louis really from Jump Street has made plays.
And that's what Donnie Abraham said. He said, man, we're finally finding our stride. Brandon Sebastian out of Boston College with that interception that you see here. The great tipped pick to Cam Kelly as well. So there's been pressure on the quarterback. There's been pressure by pass rush. There's been interceptions. There's been scoops. there's been near scores. And so that's what stands out. A defense that is getting confident again, but more than anything, a defense that's believing in their coaching and developing a culture.
And they can give A.J. McCarron a breather. Manny Wilkins pulls it and goes high-stepping and hurdling. Left side, rising over the top of Garyon Conley, the former 3-year starter, Manny Wilkins at Arizona State.
Now, Manny Wilkins is a great athlete, a different type of quarterback than A.J. McCarron. Notice somebody on his back, he hurdles over. Second season with St. Louis, but he brings a different dynamic to this offense, but he's getting valuable reps.
Anthony Beck told us he's under the radar for everyone, but for us, very nice skill set in practice, and said we've got some things that might excite the league and some people going forward with Manny Wilkins. High snap on third down, and this gets blown up in the backfield. On the give to Gallman, Michael Joseph came in, and it's fourth down.
And to your point on Manny Wilkins, so he went to ASU, Arizona State. He did the same types of things. He was hurdling people while at Arizona State. Undrafted free agent 2019 from the Green Bay Packers, and we talked about it, mobile quarterback. He went through a lot, but he's finally getting his chance.
Teammates there with N'Keal Harry and Brandon Ayuk. Battlehawks go 1 for 10 on third down, and yet they lead by 27. Some personnel issues with folks getting off the field.
This is the first of the half.
Timeout used by Anthony Beck. And coming up next over on Fox, about 12 minutes away from the Michigan Panthers squaring off against the Memphis Showboats. 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, as we close down week 5 in the UFL. Birmingham, really good. San Antonio, 4-1. St. Louis about to be 4-1. Is that a clear-cut tier for you, Sam?
Yes, and not necessarily in that order. Those are the top 3 for me, and DC, I would say, is right below that tier. This St. Louis team, they're tied at 4-1, but they will have the lead. They have the tiebreaker on San Antonio. If they can play like this defensively, they could actually give Birmingham a run for their money.
It was a 31-24 win in week 3 for St. Louis against San Antonio within the XFL conference. Chris Rowland takes it out to the 19-yard line with Quinterio Cole in on the special team stop. Hakeem Butler has been one of many stars for the Battlehawks today. Top 5 in the UFL in receptions coming in, and he added to it.
And he's all season long has talked about confidence. I saw him at practice a couple weeks ago. He said, man, that's what I want to do. I can do so much more than outside of this game and inside this game, but I want to show that I can still do it at a high level. And so he's having fun again, making plays again, and finding the end zone again and again and again.
Remember last year around Thanksgiving, a couple seasons ago, DM'd Anthony Beck after the XFL draft, just trying to get an opportunity. Just wanted a look. He's been shining. It's a drop for Rowland from his quarterback, DeAndre Francois, inside of 4 minutes to go in the 4th.
Imagine that dude DMing you his workouts.
Yes, we will take you.
Absolutely, sir. Come on down. I agree with Otto, though, on this St. Louis team. We talked about some other teams, backup quarterbacks, having to get over some injuries, different things of that nature. This team seems to be getting better. I mean, they've added Ja'Cour Pearson, who wasn't really a part of the team early on in the season because of an injury. That makes them more explosive. Mike Rowe's back. We see what he's done at linebacker today. They seem to almost be getting a little healthier outside the offensive line and then improving in certain ways. And I tell you guys, I think A.J. McCarron's just different this year. I really do. I think he looks stronger. He looks more nimble. I talked to David Moore.
Offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty, second down.
His quarterback coach down in Mobile, where AJ's from, and he said, you know, being further out from that ACL injury and being able to focus more on his strength this past off season, that's why you're seeing the difference in how he's able to move around and then how he's able to drive the ball as well. But the 3 of us talked about it, and we've all watched some of it collectively. Some of the throws that he has made this year, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, they're big time throws. As big time as you'll see from an accuracy standpoint.
Instead coming in, probably the favorite for Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, etc. Incomplete toward Rowland.
And to your point, Cole, he has NFL experience. Last year, he started 2 games in the NFL for the Bengals. And so one thing about him is he brings that experience and he brings the same expectation to every single one of the players on his team. And so there's no drop-off in expectation in this league. It's the expectation that you want to go to that next level, bring it up to my plate.
Well, AJ brings a chip, too. And Anthony Beck talked to us about it. I mean, I've seen it. I covered him when he was at Alabama. Been around him for a while. Obviously, I knew his high school coach when he was at St. Paul's in Mobile. But he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he brings an edge. And there's just not a ton of quarterbacks that bring that to a football team's mentality.
And Cole, we showed that clip earlier, too, of AJ getting a little bit frustrated. He talked earlier this week about just how much football and playing this game still means to him. He said, it matters to me. My teammates matter to me. Winning matters to me. So he does bring that chip. He brings that intensity each and every game.
It's really interesting, guys, listening to their process of deciding going into last season that they wanted A.J. McCarron as their quarterback. Anthony Beck told us we looked at 100 quarterbacks. Wanted someone who could process and get it out quickly. Big hit defensively there from Chris Garrett to bring up 4th down. And so then they whittled it down to 10 or 15. And offensive coordinator Bruce Gradkowski, offensive line coach Dave Bowler, and Anthony Beck all did that process, going from 100, grading them, going down to 10 or 15, and aiming high with NFL guys like McCarron. You mentioned his experience with the Bengals. And Anthony Beck said to us, it was a recruiting process going into last year to make A.J. McCarron want to be part of this.
But whether it's him, whether it's DJ Swearinger, some of these players, wow.
That is a block and then some on the punt, and it's picked up off the recovery and taken inside the 10 by Quinterio Cole. Chris Garrett got to Paxton Brooks, and this is a demolition.
And they're doing it in every single phase. Offense, defense, another block punt off special teams. Chris Garrett, the 7th round pick a few years ago, is making his presence felt.
That was a good spot. You couldn't even throw it higher for real, but he tried.
What, on the go route?
No, the go was a duck. I held it up.
What? It wasn't no duck.
Fluttering.
Nah, I just tried to back shoulder you.
He's trash.
Oh, so Hakeem Butler saying you can throw it higher, and it was a duck, AJ.
It's amazing.
Wilkins hands off to Wayne Gallman, gets submarined by Garyon Conley. 39-12 is the St. Louis lead, barreling toward a 4-1 record, and that connection's been stout today.
And you see St. Louis is still trying to get points. You wonder why. Well, the reason why is last year there's that memory etched in their mind of losing on a tiebreaker based off of point total. And so last year, last game of the season, they scored a ton of points. It still wasn't enough. And so they're not afraid to go and get points in case of a tiebreaker in a divisional game like this one.
Gallman is wrapped up for no gain. 3rd down and goal. And how about the defense and special teams that has forced 3 interceptions, recovered a fumble, blocked 2 punts, and for good measure has forced 2 turnovers on downs.
And that's what a complete team does. They win in every facet. Kyle Caskey, who serves as their special teams coordinator, has drawn up these blocks to have 2 block punts. And so if you can't do it on offense, let's say your offense is down, defense, let's say defense isn't playing well, special teams, but when all 3 phases are hitting, it's like a locomotive.
That's what it's been today for the Battlehawks. Wilkins pulls it. Bradley blocking at the edge, and Wilkins reaches out. Touchdown. Everything coming up Battlehawks in D.C.
Manny Wilkins has a 6'7" wingspan. Didn't have to use all of it on that one, but great job on the keep. And then you see it going to the edge. Malik Fisher matches him up. That's physical. That's football. That's Manny Wilkins.
Guy who spent a season on the Packers practice squad. Very talented quarterback from his time with the Sun Devils. Getting a chance here, replacing A.J. McCarron. St. Louis goes for 1 from the 2. Again, no kicks in the UFL. It's a tiered extra point system of 1, 2, or 3. And they get stopped by Momo Sanogo. And how about St. Louis putting up 45 points? when the total for the over-under pregame was 47. They almost did it themselves.
And they did it in a myriad of ways. They didn't do it just by remember, A.J. McCarron earlier in the game had less than 100 passing yards, but their defense is building confidence. Their special teams is drying up punt blocks. Last week they had a chance to block one. They had bad technique. They didn't do it. This team is becoming extremely dangerous.
If you have a question about them after seeing them now 3 weeks with your own eyes through 5 games in total this year, what would it be for the St. Louis Battlehawks?
It would be what will happen when they face adversity. This team has a large number of players who were on the team last year, but also some players who were on different teams last year as well. And so you're bringing in a lot of new faces. You're asking them to play big-time roles. Guys like Ontario Cole, guys like Ja'Cory Pearson, Cam Kelly. When this team faces adversity, because everybody does, how will they respond? Will they come together? Will they divide? That's what I want to see from this team.
This is the biggest margin in any game if it holds. Would be the largest victory in the UFL this season. With 36 seconds to go, it's a squib towards Zaquandre White. Spun down just past the 35. Cole, you said it. A.J. McCarron looks different to you. How do you size him up with the likes of Birmingham from all the film that you've watched this year?
I think it's only consistency, Mike. That's my only question. We've seen them be dominant in the running game. We've seen them be explosive in the passing game, just staying consistent with balance. Offensive line's got to be healthy. That's something they're going to have to address moving forward. And then defensively, we've seen that pass rush be dominant. We've kind of seen it go away just a little bit at times. If this is the team that keeps their consistency and their balance moving forward, they can compete and beat anybody in this league.
Attention turns to May 11th when St. Louis will be at Birmingham. White on the ground in the waning seconds. Pretty thorough all the way around today for the St. Louis Battlehawks. DC had never lost here in its first 10 games at Audi Field, and Anthony Beck said there was no revenge factor for him. Sam, you thought otherwise, and the play of the Battlehawks says so as well.
First loss in Audi Field, but man, kudos to the St. Louis Battlehawks for starting the game slow, at least in the red zone, and still overcoming a team they weren't able to beat before. Found a way to do it now.
DC is home again next Sunday. They welcome in another of the top teams in the league, 4-1 San Antonio. And Anthony Becht, they have ripped off 4 in a row and become the first team to take down the defenders at Audi Field. And they're a 64-yard field goal away from being 5-0. That's it for Sam Acho, for Cole Kublik, for Stormy Bonantoni, and our entire crew behind the scenes, led by Alex Farmartino and Chuck Ciccarello. I'm Mike Monaco, saying so long from DC. Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown is next with Xavier Scruggs. We send you to Nicole Briscoe.